welcome, welcome back to the Blackout, motherfuckers. I am your host with the most, all the way from the East Coast, and as always, good people, I am in airplane mode, and I found the biggest, the meanest, the roughest, the toughest, the blackest motherfucker I could find on the internet. I am talking about the motherfucking Texas Longhorn legend himself. The only motherfucker we could tell you the NFL slept on and is still regretting it to this day.
I wish.
The man who holds 19th degree black belts in 17 different disciplines that you can't even pronounce.
That word is true.
Robert motherfucking Reed.
Thank you so much, man. It's good to be back. I've missed this. I have missed.
Oh, me too. But listen, gang, we got a motherfucking problem. And as y'all know, the Gin and Truth channel has been crossed over to the other side of YouTube. And we are on Little Chrissy. The link is in the description. We're not live there right now, but we'll post this up there later. You need to go subscribe to Little Chrissy right now. I think Uncle Bobby dropped, what, 4 videos yesterday? 3 videos yesterday? 1 earlier.
Yep.
Today, I mean, we've been on a roll. So y'all need to go over there. Uncle Bobby is criminally undersubscribed. We're criminally undersubscribed. The shit with Uncle Bobby is fucking felonious, gang. So take your monkey asses over there, fucking subscribe, take that goddamn link, post that goddamn link on every Discord you're in, all your fucking social medias, send it to your goddamn family. I don't give a fuck what you gotta do. We gotta get that subscriber count all the way fucking live. The other thing I will tell you, brother, is for those that don't know, and Uncle Bobby, you may have to plug your ears for a little bit because there's a little bit of flattery coming. Uncle Bobby's my favorite YouTuber. This is my favorite YouTuber on the motherfucking platform. I watch all his shit, okay? And literally when I travel, Uncle Bobby knows, I hit him up and tell him, before I travel, I'm up late the night before, I download a whole entire playlist of fucking episodes, even if I've fucking seen it before. If my choice is between going back in the Uncle Bobby catalog versus some new bullshit on some other channel, I'm going for the fucking Uncle Bobby reruns every time without fucking hesitation. And I will tell you this, sir. The race to get into your comment section when a video drops is fucking blood sport.
I enjoy it.
There are no friends.
All the comments, but man, when I see that's actually pretty funny to watch.
There are no friends. There are no allies. Most of us know each other and we're cool on other channels, but on Uncle Bobby's channel, it is a fucking war. Uncle Bobby, I'll tell you how fucking real the shit is. I was on the fucking phone with Kyle the other day.
Yeah.
And your shit fucking dropped. We're talking on the phone. She waits until she gets into the fucking comment section to win the fucking race and then tells me your fucking video dropped. When I say there are no friends, I mean there are no friends.
That is the gold standard of not giving a fuck. I love it. I love it. Thank all of y'all. Thank all of y'all. Thank all of y'all. I've been in and out dealing with dad stuff and all the good shit, but I think I'm back on a roll. So,
well, we appreciate it, man.
Our channels, on both of our channels. Let's do some good workout.
Hell yeah, we got a cool little super $2 super chat here from Robin Webster. What a treat, Jay fanboy. You know we got an 8647, Robin. That's me and Robin's mission. Got an 8647. Got to get rid of Trump by any means necessary. Yeah. Yeah, that means getting ejected from the restaurant.
I got to remember that 8647. I like
Yeah,
it.
the bouncers have said you've been bounced. That's what I think somebody had like put it in some seashells or something, and James Comey, I think, took a picture of it and posted it, the 8647, and then that's why Trump tried to go after him. So that's his he gets real triggered when he sees the 8647.
So my volume is low.
Oh, is it?
Is that?
I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's lower than it was before.
I tell you what, I'm looking at the side chat. Let me get my headsets. Maybe that'll help out a little bit.
Okay.
Ooh.
He also might just be sitting back a hot minute. I tend to be right up on my mic, and my mic's hot. Yeah, okay. We're gonna try to take care of it. Also, for those of you that are just joining us for the Blackout, we did do an episode, a hot program earlier today with my one black friend. So, maybe check that out after this if you're still looking for more content. Yeah, also maybe sit up a little closer, Uncle Bobby, just so that you're on top of your microphone, maybe. Okay. Yeah. And then I can.
Does that sound any better?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be all right. I'll turn my gain down a little bit. All right. Cool beans. All right. So we are gonna get into this fuckface Mike Winger today.
I like that. I've only done a couple shows on Mike Winger, and again, what can be said about that asshole that hasn't been said about every apologist? I think the last one I think I did was one of his YouTube shorts, and it was one of those. Actually, I think it was only one. He was pitching something to atheists, and it was just like, try to explore Christianity without any of the snark or some bullshit like that. And I just found that incredibly, incredibly insulting, because it's like, what the fuck do you think most of us have already done? Again, 39 years as a practicing Christian for myself, it doesn't get much more sincere than that. Sunday school, Bible study, FCA, evangelize, doing all the things that Winger did. And so the last thing I think I did on him was that he was just like, well, basically, if you stop being an asshole and, examine Christianity, then you'll be a Christian again. It's like, what the fuck do you think I've already done? And so that's the last one I did. And I just found that to be insulting.
Yeah, it's like you're at Costco and they're like, if you would just sample it, if you would just take one of these samplers, you'll try it, you'll decide the Fiesta Fajita is what you need for dinner tonight. You're gonna go back down that aisle and you're gonna walk out of here with a whole case full of them things.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's also, to me, now that I'm sitting here thinking about this asshole, it's like telling a depressed person, just be happy. And It's like when an insomniac and someone says, have you tried melatonin? Or in pain, it's like, have you tried yoga or gyrotonics? You want to know why the pain person's in pain? You want to know why the insomniac's an insomniac? They've tried everything that you suggested, plus 100 things that you've never even fucking heard of. That's why we can't sleep. That's why we're in pain. And so when someone says, well, just try Christianity, again, what the hell do you think we've already done? Again, did you ever stop to think that maybe for 2 seconds that we do know your gospel message? We just think it's sitting on some bullshit. So the Mike Winger thing pissed me off. So I'm sure he's not going to be any better today. Yeah. So this is going to hurt.
One thing I'll do first is I'll play this other short. I've played this before, but I want to play this real quick because this is actually what concerns me right now.
There we go.
So the video we're actually going to watch today is about hell, but this is a short that he put out not too long ago, which is all about the Nigerian war they're trying to start. Basically, they're trying to claim there's a Christian genocide in Nigeria. But when you watch this, I want you to see this, Uncle Bobby. Look at how excited he is. Basically, what happened is there's a terrorist group in Nigeria that's killing a lot of people. Most of their victims are actually Christian.
Okay.
Sorry, no, sorry. Most of their victims are actually Muslim.
Okay.
But Christians are acting like it's a genocide of Christians. And they're
Jeez.
also acting like the country is genociding them, like as though the country of Nigeria is genociding Christians, when most of the security ministry in Nigeria um, is Christian themselves, right? So this is just not happening.
Gee.
But Trump is now threatening to invade Nigeria off of this Christian genocide that's not happening.
Fuck.
And so then you can see how excited Mike Winger gets, which is also funny because again, it's amazing how these apologists get away with like playing the whole man of God thing and don't mess with me. I'm just a Christian. Holy is the Lord.
Yeah.
But then we see what they're really about. It's
Oh
monstrous.
God.
All right,
Oh,
here we go.
here we go. Here we go.
Huge update on the Nigeria situation. 3 days ago, I made my video with Judge Saul warning about the terrorists in Nigeria and how the government's turning a blind eye to the slaughter of Christians. 2 days later, Donald Trump does what we were asking for in the video, the first thing we asked for, which is to designate Nigeria as a nation of particular concern. This is an important thing, legally speaking. It allows the gears to turn in other directions as far as in our government. Then today we get a new announcement, and this is huge. I'm going to read it to you. This is what the president of the U.S. just said officially. He declares this to the Nigerian government. Let me read it to you. This levels things up. You'll hear the rhetoric. It's pretty intense. He says, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists.
Okay, pause it. Pause the tape. Okay, this is the bullshit. This is one of those moments where your words are important. This whole guns a-blazing shit. This is what's the fuck face?
Hegseth?
Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
Your words are important. And when you know how to fight, the last thing you want to do is fight.
Mm.
The Kempo Creed goes as such. I come to you with empty hands. I have no weapons. Should I be forced to defend myself, my principles or my honor should be a matter of life or death, right or wrong, then these are my weapons, my empty hands. In other words, I don't want to do this. Can I just buy you a drink instead? Please.
Right.
But if you force me, then I'm going to have to go all the way, which is the last thing I want to do. And so this guns a-blazing, the Department of War and all this bullshit.
Yes.
This is what you sound like when your dick is this big.
Absolutely.
When your ego is out the fuck control. Donald Trump can easily sit here and talk about guns a-blazing. He's never fought before a day in his life. It's romantic to him. It's sexy. It's something that you see. It's Rambo, John Jay. One guy with a 50 cal taking out an entire army. And so it's tough talk from someone who's softer than baby shit.
Absolutely.
That pisses me off, man.
Me too. And you have to, I'm glad you brought that up too, because this is from I believe a few weeks ago. Let me look at the date on this. Yeah, actually it's from the beginning of November. So a little over a month ago. So since then, we've had the whole boats thing happen and the whole kill them all controversy, right? So now tie these things together, right? It's like, this is the threat to Nigeria. You see him describing it as the government ignoring it, the government neglecting to do anything. Again, that's not true. The government is actually engaged in the fight against multiple terrorist groups, including this group, and they're concerned about everybody they're killing, not just the Christians. But they're using this to say, oh, now we get to go invade Nigeria, and we're going to go guns a-blazing, put that with the kill them all. Like, this is serious stuff. This is and again, like, these are supposed to be the Christians, the holier than thou Bible man, and he is literally foaming at the mouth, excited about them going in guns a-blazing to Nigeria.
See, and to me, and this is why when people say, well, you're supposed to be a man of God. What about Jesus? I think the disconnect comes where we assume that means peace.
Yes.
right? So when that's what I said, the best part about Donald Trump is that he's exposed American Christianity for what it is. Right. We thought it was about
Right.
peace. It was about helping hungry people. It was about respect. It was about boundaries. Now we know that's all sitting on some bullshit. Now we
Right.
know that Christianity, guns a-blazing, Secretary of War, fuck everybody all the way up, kill every last motherfucker, draw as much blood as humanly possible. So it's like, well, he's a man of God. Exactly the problem. Exactly the fucking problem. Their God is a bloodthirsty desert warlord who kills without thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
He drowned us,
Yeah.
sent plagues, and now promises to fuck us all the way up a second time with fire. So are we shocked and surprised that this guy's foaming at the mouth about this bullshit? He's doing exactly what his God tells him to do. Murder.
Yeah, and I try to talk a lot about the liberal whitewashing of Christianity, which is exactly what you talked about, which is like we were all grew up with what I call the Barney the dinosaur version. It's, I love you, you love me.
Yep.
We're happy.
Family.
that version of Jesus, right? And
Yep.
but the character in the Bible said, I came not to bring peace but a sword. If you don't hate your own family, you can't rock with
Not
me.
worthy of me. Yep.
Not one jot or tittle of the law shall be broken. So
Yep.
so it's like people pick and choose, and in the minds of these people, yeah, we might go with the soft Barney Jesus when we're dealing with each other or we're doing the PR campaign, but as soon as there's conflict, no, we're gonna let you know. Actually, we're gonna settle this Yahweh style essentially. All right, let's.
For that. We're gonna sell this Yahweh style.
But no, I think that's the problem. Like even in my own life, I've started to realize that like I don't feel great in relationships with Christians. I try to keep my relationships with Christians to a minimum. And part of it is I do think most of them love like Yahweh. If you've literally been conditioned in this cult to hear and see all this monstrous stuff and then tell yourself that that is love or part of a divine plan, I'm sorry, eventually that shit's going to come out in how you treat other people.
Absolutely. I at work, I see that shit all the time. And I actually just told someone a couple of weeks ago, there were two moments at work that I actually found very disturbing. And two ladies came in. I could tell something was wrong. So I was like, hey, you want to talk about it? What's happening? And long story short, in both instances, there was a very intense fight between them and their husband. And I was like, hey, I've seen you two interact. Life happens. You'll be all right. And both women said, like, that's not it, Robert. The problem is I actually know that I'm the one who was right in this argument, but their husbands, because they were both really hardcore Bible-believing Christians, basically put the foot down. I have a dick, you have a vagina. God put me here to rule you, so shut the fuck up. And they did. And so I just like, okay, I've got nothing else to add to this. I can't. That's for you guys now.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, so it's just like when you believe in that bullshit, be it the extreme violence or subjugating your bride, yeah, you're right. Once you get that knee deep into the bullshit, it's going to seep into your everyday life and not in a positive way more times than not.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's hear the rest of this gross short, and then we'll get into his even grosser stuff about hell, I guess.
Let's do it.
It goes on. He says, I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. Let me just say, the purpose of government is to be a terror to the wicked, and these terrorists should actually be killed. This is the moral and right thing to do. I'm not cringe to say it. As a Christian, I stand on scripture. I stand on God's word when I say those who are mass murdering should be killed. The government should go in with guns and kill them. That's the right thing for them to do. Now, if they turn themselves in, we should take them through court and do due process and then kill them. But that's the appropriate and right thing.
take
Oh,
them
okay.
to court in the
Okay.
due process. and
I
then
already
kill
need
them.
another drink. God
Oh
damn.
my God.
Does he not know who's in the fucking White House? Didn't
And
we
this,
just go through this with
yes,
Pete Hegseth? He
yes.
had people on a boat saying mercy, and he murdered those motherfuckers. And I need more alcohol.
No, it's all right. I understand. I'm lucky. I got the vapes on hand. If governments were really a terror to the wicked, number one, Mike Winger would have his income snatched all the way up. And we would have 86-47 a long time ago. But y'all, sometimes you gotta play it, gang. We gotta play it so we can hear these people in their own words. So we can all confirm that they said what they said in English words. We can understand with our own ears. Unbelievable.
I can't believe he said that out loud, but actually, yes, I can. God damn. Okay. I didn't even bother. This is just straight liquor now. I was trying to behave, but fuck off.
Oh my goodness. All
Good
right, here we
Lord.
go.
But this will hopefully create pressure. Let's see what happens next. I just want to update you guys because listen, it was your actions that helped lead to this. I believe that you guys helped push the ball forward. Now, people came before us. This is not like Mike did all this. No way, right? People have been working on this stuff for years. They really have. But I think that we helped grab the momentum that they created and we moved the ball forward. We, meaning like Judd Saul and you guys, we moved the ball forward. And this is what we've got going on right now. So
All right, real quick. This is actually a very important point. Now, let's acknowledge a couple things. He could be a little bit delusional with regard to his own influence, and let's just set that aside. Maybe I do think he's actually one of the more influential apologists. You know, how much it translates into mainstream culture is I'm admitting debatable. But what is so interesting to me about what he just said is that he is admitting that he understands or sees something that I see or understand, which is that when you look at the political right and their extremism,
Right.
they understand that the identity of their base is religious and that they use religious justification for what they do. And so
Absolutely.
what he is saying is, I don't know how true it is, but we play a role. We in the apologist space, we in the people who are defending Christianity space, we have an important role to play in pushing our political leaders further in the direction of Christofascism and theocracy. And so he is literally saying, I don't know, but I think we're helping push them in the right direction. So it's so crazy to me that people don't make the connection to see how much apologists are propping up the intellectual legitimacy of the shit we got to deal with now politically.
Oh yeah. And it's and to me it also speaks to how desperate these motherfuckers are to have their narrative in the limelight. Because folks, let's just keep it real. Donald Trump is about as much of a Christian as I am. He's not.
Facts.
And his non-belief is quite simply based on ego. This motherfucker has thrown his own kids underneath the bus. He cheats on every wife he's ever had. He is not loyal to anyone but him. But these fuckfaces are so desperate that when Donald Trump gets up there and says, I'm a Christian and I will jerk you off, they give me a break. They question Obama's Christianity. They question Kamala's Christianity. Give me a fucking break. As long as Donald Trump will this is the ultimate symbiotic relationship. Donald Trump wants attention. Christians want their shit put up for it works. And I wonder on what level do these guys truly we know this motherfucker's not a Christian, but he'll ban abortion. He'll kill brown and black people in the name of our white God.
Right.
And he's getting attention. He's getting shoulder rubs. So it is the perfect symbiotic. They need each other. They need each other.
So Liz Allen said, starting with the Crusades, Christians thrive on made-up outrage that they quote unquote must respond to, weaponized grievance. And then she says DARVO. And for those that just need the reminder, DARVO is an acronym for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. So deny what's going on, attack the other side, and then reverse who is actually in the role of victim and offender. And it's a manipulative tactic used by perpetrators of wrongdoing, like abusers, to evade responsibility by denying their actions, attacking a victim's credibility, and claiming victimhood themselves, effectively flipping the roles to make the real victim appear to be the aggressor. And I know about this, and we've talked about on this channel before in relation to narcissism. But of course, it is, narcissism is inherent to these religions. And so this is what you see when you have a cult that worships a narcissistic deity. So, yeah, I just wanted to highlight that comment, Liz Allen.
Perfect.
Yeah, Riv, fantastic.
Beautiful thing. Now, if you're a Muslim and you're watching this, I would encourage you to give your life to Jesus Christ, because you're thinking Islam's taking over the world, but what's really happening is Islam is taking over your soul, and it is taking you far from God. You've been lied to and lied to.
Wait, you're gonna like this even better.
And you need to open the Bible. Your book says that you should trust what's in our scriptures. Go read the Quran. It says that you should be trusting it. Now,
you talk about this all the time, right? How Christians do this thing where they literally pretend that other people's religions point to their God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Read your Quran. Your Quran is going to tell you my Bible is the way to go.
Fuck Mike Winger, man. This is some bullshit. What an asshole. Wow.
Read your text. It says my text is right.
Yeah, of course. Shit. Wow. Oh, here we go with the real bullshit.
All right. So now this is a video from this one's from a couple years ago, but I pulled it up because he popped up on my feed, and I don't know why this came up, but it was objections to hell. So I haven't actually seen this. I figured this was a good thing for me and Uncle Bobby to do together since we both hate Mike Winger, and we got to shake off the rust. So I needed a mutual target of vitriol for
I can still hear every word. I'm going to turn on my vent and get some air moving around.
Yeah, go for it.
Holy shit. But I'm going to tell you, this whole Mike Winger, this is sitting on some bullshit, man. I'm starting to wake up now. This is, it's just, God dry humping shit. Some way, somehow, the Quran points to Christianity. Islam, being a Scientologist points to Christianity. A dog taking a shit points to Christianity. Robert, the fact that you're an atheist points to Christianity. Again, it just waters down the importance of their deity. I mean, Jesus, titty fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's their God dry humping everything, including everybody else's God.
Absolutely. Wow.
Biblical point of view, not every crime is prescribed. Why does God give infinite punishment for finite crimes? Even from a biblical point of view, not every crime is prescribed the same punishment. So why then can a person never serve the entirety of their punishment in hell? So yeah, what's up with the issue of hell and the justness or the consistency of the topic of hell? So what I have here are 8 facts about hell, or 8 things I'm going to say about hell. The first one is going to be this: not everyone gets the same punishment. Let me actually take you guys to a passage in Scripture that helps us see this. Matthew 11:20.
He's already sitting on some bullshit. So not everyone's punishment is going to be the same. But there's still punishment for people that don't bite on the bullshit.
Right.
It doesn't make it any softer. Right. If whether I punch you across the face or hit you with an open hand, either way, I just struck you. It's not like one is better than the other one.
Right.
Right. So again, 1.5 billion Hindus are fucked. And it's supposed to be better because half of them will get the worst treatment while the other half get the... It's all the same. It's all bullshit. This doesn't make it any better, Mike. It doesn't make it any better.
And it's always a threat. And I think there's going to be this thing where he's trying to lay out some kind of nuance that I think he's way out of field and even doing. But even so, I think what you always end up with is just even more of a threat. And then I don't know. I had a thought and then I forgot it. Let's roll the tape.
One. It says, "Woe to you." Jesus speaking here. He's traveled around. He's in person. This is the greatest revelation that God has ever given mankind. It's in the person of Christ. So Jesus says, "Woe to you, Chorazin. Woe to you, Bethsaida. For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes." And then he says, "But I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon in the day of judgment than for you." Now, here's why this is super significant to me. It's a future thing, right? It's not talking about how tolerable Tyre and Sidon was, the judgment that they experienced before, but it's rather a future judgment. And there's a difference between the way they will experience those judgments. So in the future, Tyre and Sidon will experience future judgment, and it's going to be different in the punishment and experiences they have. Then Jesus adds the Sodom and Gomorrah aspect here in the next verses. "And you, Capernaum, who are exalted to heaven, will be brought down to Hades. For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say to you, it shall be," future tense, "more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for you." This to me implies, right? You could maybe you can interpret it a different way, but I think the implication here is that Sodom has a future day of judgment, and that when you compare, right, these cities to Sodom, Sodom will have it easier, which is to say, your observation about how every crime does not get the same punishment in the law of Moses, that's actually very true about the issue of final judgment.
This guy's sitting on some bullshit, man.
He is, and I'm hearing something that I haven't heard before, which is, in a sense, part of where I'm thinking about the motivation for Christian nationalism. Part of what I'm hearing that's super fucked up in this. First off, like you said, there's still a punishment, there's still judgment. Mm-hmm. We're still at the kiddie table because I'm looking at a grown-ass man and he's talking to me about the day of judgment. And I'm just so sick of, like, first off, I'm so sick of the fact that we're always getting this fucking bullshit tap dance. We're on one side when Christians are talking to each other and they get real. It's all about hell. It's all about the day of judgment. Real bad shit's going to happen. Be very, 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 very afraid. And then we get the other ones and they're all just like, "Oh, no, well, that's not, hell, oh, no, why would you even want to talk about that? No, it's not, I don't know, what? No, my God loves everybody. He doesn't want to judge anybody." Like, it's so, like, that part is so annoying. But the other part that I'm hearing here, other than Christians continue to glorify and jerking off over the idea of a day of judgment, is judgment of cities and judgment of nations. This idea that, like, there's a judgment, and, you know, Capernaum is going to be judged relative to Sodom. And that, again, is the super unjust thing about your God, where it's like, not only is there this idea of judgment, which is inherently unjust, and the punishments, which are inherently unjust, but this is also like, oh, I like the people in this country more than this other one, so I'm going to judge the nations differently. And I think that is literally part of the Christian, like, the Christianese of their thinking, where, like, part of what I think they think is that, like, they have this fucked up thing and their God might judge nations and we have to be like a holy nation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because this is in their world, because part of their worldview apparently is God has differential opinions and judgments for people based on
where they are,
how he feels about their country. Yeah, which is wild.
But I mean, at the end of the day, is there even really judgment? Because he's already made up his mind on he's going to fuck all the way up. He already knows that you're going to be an atheist. I'm going to be an atheist. People in the side chat are atheists. He already knows that India is not ever going to become majority Christian. Right. So when I hear this, well, the judgment is coming. I think it's already here.
Yeah,
Because he already knows who he's going to fuck all the way up and who he's going to allow to give him a jerk off session for an eternity. So every time I hear, the judgment's coming, according to your parameters, it's already here.
Yeah.
He already knows who he's going to let in and who he's going to kick out. So, I mean, Mike Winger, as always,
and then also, I wonder where he's going to go in terms of what's the comparison and who is it worst for? Are you going to hit me with it's going to be worse for me and Uncle Bobby because we deny God and think he's a fucking fuckface? Or is this like what I suspect? And sometimes it's a veiled threat to Christians because, nobody hates believers more than their actual God. Where I think part of what he's saying, it's going to be worse to you because you're my people. You're the ones who are supposed to be following me. You're the ones who are supposed to be licking my booty hole every day. Yeah. So if you fuck up and then the day of judgment comes, it's going to be worse for you than for them because I never knew them.
But again, this is the most fucked up portion of it all. I think I said this a couple of days ago on the show. I mean, this is literally some real abusive shit that we're talking about here. Again, I'm giving it one last shot. I'm gonna do it. The moment he comes in that door, pants down, mouth around his dick, this is gonna be fantastic. And she does it, and he still beats her. And you're like, wow, I can't even suck a dick right? I'm gonna get him a drink. I'm gonna make his dinner, and he still hits her. He still finds a way to be critical instead of complimentary. And like, you can't please this motherfucker no matter what you do. So when you say, he's going to bring the hammer even on his own people, and it's like, other than indoctrination, Christians, how do you not see this? This is the ultimate in abusive spouse design here. Nothing you can do will please this motherfucker. And if you do please him enough, you still have hell to pay. Because apparently when you cross the finish line and you go to heaven, who you are disappears. Because now he's going to give you new desires. And the only desire that I've been told is get out your knee pads and a never-ending supply of chapstick. Because you will be kissing ass for trillions of nonstop years. So even if you win, you still lose when the grace of God.
And this is why I'm not nearly as friendly to Christians as others, because I don't want anything to do with even the friendly Christianity. The friendly Christianity to me is just a deeper, an even deeper manipulation. But when I think about what the ask is, so one of the things I always like to tell people is the ask is not to believe in Jesus. I know you hit me with the Jesus bullshit. He died for my sins. I got to believe that in order to be saved. But the reality is that believing that's not enough. I actually have to dedicate my life to him. Because if I don't dedicate my life to him, then I'm still going to be sinning and denying his sacrifice, and I'm going to end up in hell nevertheless. But something you're bringing up that really brings home how truly abusive and coercive it is you are getting your ass whooped no matter what. Because even if you completely dedicate your life to Christ, as some of us know Christians who actually have tried that bullshit, it's never enough. It's never enough because you got on your knees and thank God for the day you had before you went to bed, but then that fucking alarm clock went off and you were late and you jumped in the shower, and between the time you jumped in the shower and ate your breakfast, you forgot to fucking thank God for waking you up in the morning. And then you jumped in your car and got up on the highway and your monkey ass forgot to thank God for fucking arriving at work safely because you were late to your goddamn meeting, and so you forgot to pray again before you jumped out the motherfucking car. And then I saw you eating lunch with your colleagues, and you say grace before every meal at home, but when you had lunch with your colleagues, you didn't thank me for your fucking food. So,
Absolutely.
So it's never enough.
No, you say that, and I bullshit you not. I remember watching Todd Friel say the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing. That is like basically every time the tire turned and it didn't explode and you didn't swerve and kill. He's like, did you thank God for that? It is like literally like you inhaled, you didn't thank God. Exhale, you didn't thank God. You inhaled, you didn't thank God. You can't be serious. And it's like literally, there's nothing you can do. And this is why I say this when I get serious on shit like this. If God's name was Jonathan and not Jehovah, you would be in my self-defense class tomorrow. You would.
Facts.
Just like I ironed it. No, I didn't even bother to iron his clothes, Robert. I took it to the most premier, most expensive dry cleaners. If you use the crease of the shirt, you would cut your own skin. It was fucking perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
And he still beat me. And again, it's just like, if you have to sit here and literally every rotation of the tire that doesn't explode, you need to thank God. Right? Like you said, I breakfast and dinner is at home. I say a prayer, but I got caught up in a conversation at work and I didn't thank him for the meatloaf sandwich. Now he's going to fuck me all the way up. Again, put any other name on God, you would be calling somebody like me. If you have to thank that motherfucker for everything. I turned on the light switch, even though I'm the one that's got the job. I'm the one who has the money. I'm the one who paid the city for my electric bill so I can use it this month. No, apparently that's not you. That's God. You're like, God damn. And yeah, I see that. He beats you because he can. If that is not the perfect comment for the Christian God and an abusive spouse, because he can.
Absolutely. And again, the Christians are going to tell us this. They're going to say he can do it because I'm his property. He can do that because he created me and he owns me. Mm-hmm. You know, but I will say this, because again, like we need to get your message far and wide. So y'all need to subscribe to the Little Chrissy channel. And for those of you that are already subscribed, I need you to do something more important, which is I need you to share the Little Chrissy channel. I need you to drop it in those Discords. I need you to put it all over your social medias. But part of the reason you're going to do that is because Uncle Bobby's not just the flash. It's not just the style. Like, you are incredibly entertaining. We've got the catchphrases. We've got the fun. But, you know, you really bring something different to the table. And part of that is you're a sincere former Christian, a sincere lethal weapon, and also genuinely a women's self-defense instructor. And I brag about you all the time about I have a friend and his job is to teach women how to fight so they don't get raped. And I say it just like you say it. And then I tell people about the battered spouse syndrome. And I tell them, I'm not saying this because I learned it, you know, to be mean to Christians. I'm telling you, this is something I learned, again, from my friend who's a martial artist whose job it is to teach women how to fight so they don't get raped. And then I lay out the four things: the irrational belief that your oppressor is omnipresent, the irrational belief that the abuse is your fault, the irrational belief that you find your purpose and meaning in your oppressor, and the irrational belief that if they can't get to you, they're harmed your loved ones. And what part of that does not describe the Christian God? So that is something you have contributed to this space. A counter-apologetic that says, no, let's cut through the fucking bullshit and talk about what's really going on here. So, subscribe, gang, and come get these lessons for real.
Thank you so much.
Oh, of course, of course.
Everybody does not have the same final judgment experience in the future. So it's tailored to the person depending on the sins they committed. I'll give you more scripture on this. Luke chapter 12, verse 47. Jesus tells a parable talking about a future coming judgment. He says, and that servant who knew his master's will and did not prepare himself or do according to his will, this one who knew, he will be beaten with many stripes. Are they literal stripes? I don't think that's the point at all, actually. I think the point is his punishment will be more extreme. Then you have he who did not know, yet committed things deserving of stripes. Does he get off the hook? No, he's beaten, but with few. So that not only are your sins specifically punished, but your knowledge is also dealt with. So it's like,
again, don't make me a Christian. The best thing you could do is not convert me.
I almost can't believe he said this bullshit out loud. It's like, well, I'm going to beat this motherfucker a little bit more than I beat you, but don't worry. yours is coming. I got plenty for you, and don't worry. You're like, in what universe is this? So how about this? I watch all the bullshit on YouTube, and one of them is the guys that they catch predators. I'm trying not to get a strike on either one of our channels.
Sure.
But for the people who want to hurt kids, I literally saw one yesterday where the guy he wanted to do it to the daughter and the mother. And he was really trying to justify why it was okay because it was going to happen to the mom first. And you're just like, you understand. Well, clearly he doesn't. But at the end of the day, you have hurt both of those women. You understand that? Fuck nuts. It's not better because it's a money transfer. Right. Well, I'm helping them out. They get $150 and the daughter gets to watch me with the mom. You're still hurting both of those women. It's not better for one or the other. It's still a fucking crime.
Right.
And so when to hear Winger sit there and say that your beating will be less than this only in Christianity can you say that out loud.
Right.
And some way, somehow, that is okay.
Yeah.
It's still a beating, Mike. It's still a fucking beating. And it's an unjustified beating.
And it reminds me of the people who don't want me to complain about racism because I'm not a slave. Thanks.
God.
Thanks. How about I'm living with racism and it fucking blows? Oh, well, but there's been so much progress. But Martin Luther King said we shall overcome. And there used to be segregation. You can drink from the same water fountain. What type of bullshit is this? What are you complaining about?
I've gotten that. Oh my God. I hate people so much. I've gotten some shit like that. When at work, and I'm at the point where I'm just like, yeah, that's about right. My family's history is all kinds of fucked up. If there's this much to my family's history, I've shared like literally that much. And it's literally like, I don't want to hear about it. But it's better now, right? Niggers can vote. Right. And it's just like, you want to know why we keep spinning the same wheel? It's because when it's time to hear about the actual fucking factuals, you don't want to hear about it. Right, my family can endure it, but apparently you can't hear about it. I've gotten that before, man, and that just about pisses me the fuck off. I know we're a little bit off topic, but yeah, man, I get that all the time. I've never been a slave owner. You've never been a slave. Get over it. I'm like, really? Hey, how do you like that business that's been in your family for 5 fucking generations? Yeah. You don't work. I wonder whose family sweated their balls off so that your family could be.
Yes.
Yeah, don't act like it's in
and again, I'm listen, if y'all don't want to do the reparations, I'm cool. You don't want me to get paid off the work of my ancestors, I get it. But then we're gonna get rid of inheritance. You get one or the other. If you're gonna keep doing inheritance, I want some motherfucking reparations. You don't want to give me reparations? Cool. Let's hit the reset button every generation for everybody. Let's do it. Let's roll, baby. They'll be communist in about 2 weeks if that happens.
Bring it on.
But look, what's interesting. I was gonna say another thing interesting about this passage is, and this is like, again, the thing I try to talk about, but doesn't really get brought up with Christianity, is the whole thing is about slavery. And we like to point to the passage, because we can go to this passage. I can go, oh, look, in this passage, God says, you can make this person a slave for like 6 years, but if they're Hebrew, you got to let them go. But the other ones you can own. Or this other passage where it's like, hey, if you beat your slave and he survives, after a couple days, you're good to go. But if he dies, like that might be kind of a problem. So it's very easy to go to those passages because they're a handbook on slavery, right?
Totally.
But they also allow us to have the wrong conversation because they allow us to go, well, okay, well, we're talking about slavery as an institution at that point. We're talking about the laws for slavery, who could be enslaved, for how long, and what were the legal constraints of it, right? But there's a much bigger problem with Christianity, which is that the entire fucking thing is about slavery, right? If you even talk about the story about Exodus, if you really read it in context, he doesn't set them free because he's against slavery. He sets them free because they're his slaves. They belong to him. They're not supposed to be serving somebody else because they're supposed to be dedicated in serving him. They are property of Yahweh. And since they have that brand, how dare you take his cows somewhere else? And then even in this passage here, this is how he teaches. He teaches his people by saying, you are like servants. Are you going to be like the servant who didn't know master and deserves a few lashes? Or are you going to be the servant who knew the master and therefore deserves many lashes? Which one are you going to be, Christian? Right? So even when he's teaching you, he's telling you you're a slave, and he needs you to needs to use slavery as a framework for which you to understand how he operates. He can't even teach you about his nature without invoking slavery. No part of this is him saying, I'm actually the loving God Yahweh, and I think slavery is awful, and I came here to set you. That's exactly, he's doing the exact opposite of that.
It is his business model.
Exactly.
There you go. Business model. And the whole thing with the whole, I set you free so that you can be my slave. Again, which part of that is not cripplingly insecure boyfriend or cripplingly insecure girlfriend? Right? Hold my hand. Tell me you love me in front of everybody. Kiss me right now. Were you looking at her? Were you looking at him? Do you think I'm pretty? Do you think I'm handsome? Right? I mean, holy shit balls. How dare you be a slave for somebody else? Bitch, you're my slave.
Exactly.
Right. Hold on. Did you get their ice cubes right? But not my going in to get that belt. Someone needs a beating. This is so fucked up. And again, please tell me where, other than Christianity, can you say some shit like this and it be okay?
Right.
How dare you be someone else's slave? You guys got me ready. Just so you know, before this show, I was calm. Now I have to get another drink. I can still hear. This is some bullshit.
Go for it.
Holy crap.
I love it. I'm going to hit the vape.
Do it. Roll that.
But they didn't really fully understand how bad it was. Well, they will be punished according to their understanding. What about the person who did it and knew exactly how bad it was? They will be punished according to their understanding as well. Second issue, do people stop sinning in hell? Now, sometimes we...
All right, y'all, just to be clear, that is the, you are getting it way worse because you're a Christian. That is again, if it's like if all babies go to hell because you can't go to, if all babies go to heaven because you can't go to hell till you reach the age of accountability, the solution is to kill us all before we reach the age of accountability. If the deal is your punishment is going to be way worse if you're a Christian because you knew me, so I'm going to fuck you all the way up. Again, the solution is please stop spreading your gospel message immediately. We will all literally be better off. All right, and so now we're going to talk about the second thing, as well. Which is...
Second issue, do people stop sinning in hell? Now, sometimes we assume that that's the case. Like, we've done all these sins in life. I die if I've rejected...
You motherfucking child, they burn. Do they burn? Do they burn? Because if you're burning, you ain't got time for shit else. I can promise you that right now.
Christ, then I'm going to stand and punish for all my sins, and then I'm in hell, and I'm there, and I don't sin anymore. So 100 years later, 1,000,000 years later, a week later, I have not sinned in that time. And so we think that what I'm experiencing now is just corresponding to what I've done in life, and then therefore there should be a ticking clock that ticks down. I should be like released. I'm paying for my crimes here. That doesn't seem to be the case, though. So if you're still conscious, then you can still sin because God cares about your heart. He cares about your thoughts. And Jesus talks about this in Matthew 5, where he says, if you are angry without just cause at your brother, well, you've...
So basically, your God has judged me, sentenced me to eternal conscious torment. But since I'm conscious, I can keep sinning. And presumably I'm pissed. Presumably I'm a little mad at your God. He produced this eternal conscious torment. So now I'm rejecting your God. I'm probably cursing him out because of the torment. But now I keep sinning because of the torment. So now I deserve to stay in hell. So that's why it's just.
You know what? This is fucked up. This is again. we can keep going. This is abusive. You're dating someone, you're married to someone who fosters a certain environment. You're living in the environment that that person has fostered, and then they punish you for living in that environment. They're like, hey, baby, it really seems like you have a double life.
Are you describing Christianity or what it's like to be a
Just
black person, or what it's like to be a black person?
Pick one. It's like, okay, hey, why is it that I can never use your phone? Right? Why is it every time you leave the house, I never know where you're going? Do you realize we've been doing this for 5 years and I've never met a single one of your friends, your family? You keep telling me you're going to go out, but you don't.
Why does Why does your business close at 5 o'clock, but you're always working late?
Exactly. Just so you know, I'm feeling a little bit insecure, maybe a little bit jealous. Why the fuck are you jealous? You fostered an environment that jealousy is going to be the dominant.
Absolutely.
Right? And so again, it's just like you said, you're going to go to hell, right? You're every day, every single second, it's just, I'm going to hit you like, ow, that fucking, did you just say fuck? Yeah, because it hurts, motherfucker. You're putting me in a situation to where all I feel is pain, and then I react to the pain, and now you're punishing me for the pain I'm feeling. You fostered an environment and then punish me for living in the environment that you fostered. It turns out when you compliment me, you validate me, you're nice to me, you have sex with me, you tell me I'm pretty, yeah, I'll work harder for you. I'll return the sentiment. I'm a lot nicer when you're nice to me.
Exactly.
Have you noticed that? But the Christian God just beats the fuck out of you and then gets mad at you for feeling pain, for feeling jealousy, for feeling insecurity, right? Well, God, thank you so much. I hated being a slave for that motherfucker. Yeah, I know, but guess what, bitch? Now you're my slave. Well, I don't want to be a slave. Go to hell. It's just like you cannot win for losing with this motherfucker.
Exactly.
This is Ike Turner. This is Ike Turner.
Intergalactic Ike Turner. Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
It's like you've committed murder in your heart. Okay, so you could do that still. Lust, pride is one of the worst sins in the scripture. And that is absolutely something that you can still do even when you don't have access to like social media, which does amplify the problem. All I'm saying here is...
gang, also, y'all need to be subscribed to Faith Exposed, also a fantastical content creator. But Faith said, we're supposed to believe God cares about our heart and whether we are sinning or not while we are burning for eternity. Such BS. Winger is the worst. And it made it, Faith, the reason I wanted to highlight this is because all the worst are the best, right? All the people that we know are the worst apologists. All the Christians believe are the best apologists. Right? Like the worst to us is all the popular ones. Fuckface Frank Turek and William Lane Craig and Fuckface McDowell and all these fuckfaces. They're all the worst. So again, it's just this, we live in two different realities where Christians are gonna say, I'm gonna say, God, the Christian God seems like some fucking bullshit. Oh, and the Christian's going to go, well, we're some really good guys that argue for it. And they're like, have you ever heard of Mike Winger?
Faith, is that you with the black dress on? Because I want to make sure I'm subscribed to the right channel.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Let me,
okay.
Let's pull it up.
Viewing Christianity as an addictive drug.
Yes, that's her. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Faith,
amazing, right?
I just subscribed. I am on your shit, and I will be listening to you tomorrow when I work out. This already looks good.
Yeah. Her content is awesome. We're gonna do a collab, and you guys should do a collab for sure.
Only 40 Oh no! You got to do more than this. This is. I'm looking at your titles. Oh yeah. Hey, real fast. Christianity. I'm gonna go back over here. Christianity failed girls. I just saw your title. Yeah. Boy, I cannot wait to look at that.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Because my whole song and dance, Faith. Again, I'm an actual women's self-defense teacher. That's all I see every day, all day. And if you take, I know I'm preaching to the choir, Faith.
No,
I
you're
do
good. Go for it.
apologize, but every time I sit and I hear a real fucked up ass story, and I'm working my ball off not to cry, when this lady's telling me what her husband's doing to her, all I can think of is, this is the Christian God, because it is. That'll be the first thing I listen to tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys get in that side chat. You circulate faith stuff. $10 says it's fucking fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah,
Faith.
and that is a thing too. That I hate to say it is like not talked about nearly enough. We do find space to talk about the LGBTQ stuff a lot because it's so vile, and it's always in the political scene. But we do not talk about what this faith does to women, and what it does to be a young lady raised in that community. And even the shit that most people think is mundane, like I use the example of my grandmother. My grandmother is a way better student, way better at communicating, way more organized, disciplined, and intelligent than my grandfather is. But she, in their little, biblical church school world, stopped at a master's where my grandfather got his doctorate in hocus pocus or theology, whatever it's called, because she felt that a woman should not have the same education level as her husband, right? So that's not my grandfather saying, "Hey, Edith, I don't want you to have the same education as me, so stop at a master's." That's her internalizing the misogyny and saying, I should not have the same level of education as the man in my life, right? It's that type of shit that's just terrible. Not to mention just, the fact that women were property and that we're constantly trying to tell today's women that they should be idolizing this world in which they are clearly cattle. So it's ridiculous. And then the other thing is also like the child abuse. Like so much of this, how many kids are beaten because of spare the rod, spoil the child? Oh God. Like how many generations have to be subject to that? We've learned a lot about parenting. We know that that's not the way to go. It's just time to stop.
You would think.
All right, let's see if we can get through some more of this.
All right, let's
should not evaluate the fate of the person in hell as though they became holy the moment they entered hell. They didn't. In fact, they are no longer experiencing the work of the Spirit around them to try to draw them. There's a really good chance people get worse, not better. So that's something I just want to say. People don't just stop sinning, and we shouldn't evaluate the length of hell as though there's no more sin.
You
after death.
Coward! What a coward! What a cowardly worldview.
So again, that is 100%. He fosters an environment, then punishes you for living in the environment that he created. Right. Well, you don't stop sinning because you go to hell. Again, the true home, as far as I'm concerned, as someone who grew up with capital punishment, I'm a military kid. I've been through the shit. We all have. Two hallmarks of a proper punishment. One, you learn something. Two, it ends. If that second parameter is not met, it is abuse. It's fucking abuse.
Absolutely.
Right. And I look back at my childhood, and I'll be honest with y'all, I would not change a thing. I would not change a single thing. I not born in the early 70s. You goddamn right. I got the strap. I got the belt. I got the switch. I got all of that. And looking back, I personally would not change a thing. I don't think I would have done that to my kids.
Right.
But I would not change a thing. But if there's one thing I always give my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles for, some way, somehow, they were great at separating the punishment from who I was. They were punishing what Chris did. They weren't punishing Chris. Some way, somehow, I always knew it was what it hurt like a motherfucker, but it's what I did. It wasn't who I was. You're sitting there, Mike, and saying, well, you're just going to continue to piss God off. So that's why this fucked up shit's got to happen for an eternity. You don't learn anything. You're just being beaten. You're being hurt. again, a punishment. Okay. One of my martial arts kids, I had to learn the hard way how to motivate someone who's still in their single digits. And so I learned you just can't go in there and puff your chest out, because at the time I was only like a 2nd-degree black belt. They don't give two shits. So you have to find a pressure point and you have to press on it. I learned because at the time, the Power Rangers were the big thing. And they would, do a little superhero landing and do the kicks and the shit. And their uniform made them feel like Power Rangers. So they have 3 chances to cross the line with Sifu Reed. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take your belt. Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take, again, I told them, your gi is a privilege. It's not a right. If you misbehave, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take your belt from you. You're going to come to the next class with just your top and your bottom. Second thing I'm going to take from you is going to be your gi top. Let's say I found out from their parents that they're being disrespectful to their English teacher. Well, we don't do disrespect, either in my class or someone else's class. Sifu, he was disrespectful a 3rd time. Then I take your pants. The next time you come to my class, you will be wearing street clothes. And if I hear you were disrespectful to Mr. Johnson a 4th time, you're going to miss a class. You're not welcome in my class until your parents tell me that you've learned manners. Okay, you were mannerable. Here's your pants back. You were mannerable. Here's your gi top back. You said, yes, sir. You said, yes, ma'am. Here's your belt back. A punishment should teach a lesson, and they should be given a path to redemption. If you go to hell and you just get beaten for a fucking eternity, that is just hatred. There's no lesson being learned. You're just being hurt. So Mike Winger is sitting on some bullshit with what he just said.
The other thing is, when I die, it is the end of conscious torment. I repeat, when I die, it is the end of conscious torment. Now, I'm going to tell you what is real conscious torment. Conscious torment is living in a world where, through human effort and scientific ingenuity, we have learned that there is one race called the human race. Yet I still suffer from fucking racism.
Preach it.
Hell is living in a world where we miraculously come up with drugs to solve pandemics, and we still don't get to be with each other because motherfuckers decide not to take it. Hell is living in a world where we have discovered that there is gender affirming medicine that we can give people so they can live healthy and happy lives, and they can't get access to that medicine because people not named them don't want them to have it.
Yep.
Hell is living in a world where we go to trans athletes and we say, we've actually done the research. It turns out that you're at a competitive disadvantage when it comes to sports. And they're like, yeah, well, I want to play sports anyway, just for love of the game. I just want to run with my friends. I just want to play volleyball with the girls and let's get it going. Child, I'm not sure you heard me. I said you're at a competitive disadvantage. I'm like, I just said for the love of the game. And then we say, nope, you can't play anyway.
Yep.
Because these people over here say you have an unfair advantage, even though we know that's not true.
Preach,
that's hell. Hell is living with fucking Christians who will not let us have nice things.
Come on.
Hell is having to continue to go to fucking work in a job where we are fucking underpaid, under fucking compensated, and we're about to have our jobs taken from us by motherfucking artificial intelligence. And these motherfuckers keep telling us their God created us to work rather than we could share the fucking wealth and create a universal basic income in this bitch. You can work if you want to, but nobody's going to have to go hungry.
Yep.
Hell is living in a world where every time I pull up at the traffic light on my way to fucking teach the kids that y'all stopping from being able to read, I got to decide, do I want to be able to buy lunch after class today, or should I hit this homeless person that came up to my window with this $10 bill, even though I live in the richest fucking country on the planet, but for some reason has not decided that housing is a human right. But I still got to hear about fucking morality from motherfucking Christian apologists.
Yes,
that is fucking hell. That is real conscious torment that we are dealing with right now. Oh my God.
Your problem is you're bringing logic to a goddamn stupid fight.
Exactly.
You're bringing compassion to a cruelty fight. Again, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And especially in a day and of age, I think I heard this morning, where we have a president who wants to spend almost $400 million on a fucking ballroom.
Thank you.
Just so you guys know, I'm in Texas and the shit has hit the fan. Beef used to be, for what it is I buy, about $4.50 a package. That shit is over $7 fucking now. Right? It's just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And again, the shit is real. And yeah, when we live in a world where the rich are getting richer while the destitute are becoming more destitute, the gap in between Jeff Bezos and the person who cleans his building is sitting on some bullshit.
Absolutely.
Now, he is the guy who started it all. Am I saying they both need to be right here? Hell no. But what I'm saying is, people like Jeff Bezos, if he gave every single one of his employees $100,000 cash right now, he would still be one of the top 10 richest men on the fucking planet.
Yes. Yes.
And so this is sitting on some bullshit. And this is what Christians, especially like Winger, who's jerking off that we're going to go and kill black people. Again, you can either pay up or you can pray up. Which one do you think Christians like to do?
Exactly.
All the help that you guys don't do because you want to sit in a fucking room and please God feed those Mexicans. Oh, you're not going to do it? Fuck it. I got plenty. So who gives a fuck? I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, Liz Allen said hell is ableism too. I totally agree. I wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, no, it's unbelievable. I'm a roll the tape just so we don't get too sidetracked.
Question number 3. Why do we think hell is a static experience? I'm not saying hell is not a static experience. I'm asking why we think it is. You see, I want to move you to the place of doubt on this particular topic. At least that's where I am. If I'm wrong, may I come to the light and understand the truth on this issue?
Hang on. Based Asherah said the ones who voted Donald Trump in were the ones who grew up when the corporate tax rate was in the 90%. Yeah.
Look at you go.
Yeah. Yep. Tell him.
It may be that the initial moment of judgment, here's a possibility, is worse than later moments. This is actually this happens a lot in Scripture. So when the people of Israel are attacked by the Babylonians and then deported out, Judah are deported out of the land. They're brought out of the land, and then they're deposited there in Babylon. The initial judgment of getting drug out of the land and the deaths and the pain and the suffering is worse than their condition a year later while they're at Babylon. Is that still punishment? Yeah, it's still punishment, but it's not statically the same at all times. So they're still out of the land and they're still suffering to an extent, but it's not the same extent as they were on the day that Lamentations writes about. You know, when Jeremiah writes Lamentations and he's like just grieving and sorrowing.
I hate this.
That was the worst part.
Yeah, and the other thing that's so weird about this is like it's such a I mean, it's literally all bullshit. But how does he even get away with this thing where we have this fictive history in the Bible of all these different tribes and lands or whatever, and then you're like reading that fictive history and somehow it's prophetic about these details of judgment and hell, where why didn't God just come out and tell us the details of judgment? Like why is God not like, hey, look, check it out, hell sucks, It's a fucking lake of fire. You could also say it's eternal conscious torment because it should last forever. Okay, and I'm not there, so it's also being in my absence for eternity. All right, and I really fucking hate the people of Capernaum more than the people of Sodom, so it's going to be way worse for them. It's going to be way worse for Christians than it's going to be for Muslims because you're supposed to be my people. Oh, and by the way, it changes over time. Sometimes it's like a, sort of like a flesh melting heat. Other times it's just gonna like cook you and turn you to ashes. Like we don't get that. Instead, the Bible says nothing about any of this,
Nope.
but we're supposed to infer from some stories about land disputes who actually is gonna get more fucked up. So it's like believers are buying into this bullshit, but the bullshit is not even about the bullshit that it's supposed to be about. Like it's just so weird. And I hate to say this too, but like maybe I don't hate to say this, but it's super whitewashed. No, if not for white supremacy, you could not build an audience and be seen as some sort of intellectual person with this type of hocus pocus. If you saw a Hindu person up here reading from, weird stories from the Far East and then interpreting that to be about the upcoming day of Brahmin judgment, I mean, people would just be fucking laughing and mocking the person and what type of silly fucking bullshit is this? But when it's a fucking white dude with glasses, we're supposed to be like, oh, well, I guess this is the intellectual side of Christianity and the deeper, rich questions that our human mind struggles to answer. It's like, nah, I just see a fucking white dude who like doesn't have any real fucking skills, like never bothered to fucking learn anything, and now like just gets to sling hocus pocus to a bunch of fucking rubes.
And getting paid to do
getting paid like that.
It's how do you rob somebody without a gun?
Pretty much.
This is exactly what it is. It's again, if I sat here and I told the people that don't come to me for self-defense but for fitness advice, you're going to pay me $200 a session. If you drink a fifth of alcohol every day, you'll be healthier than you've ever been. If you eat nothing but chocolate cake and fatty meats, holy shit, your skin's going to glow. You'll have six-pack abs. And if I charged money for that, I would be just as ethical as these fuckfaces. In that, again, did you know that a virgin got pregnant? Did you know that snake can talk? Oh, you don't agree with me? Just so you know, you're going to get fucked up in the worst way imaginable. Now go and reach in your pocket and give me some motherfucking money. It's unethical to sit here and lie to people like that. And he's got 8 facts about a place that he can't prove even fucking exists. And what other realm is this? Right?
Yeah.
Fuck faces. I'm going to tell you exactly. First pros on your wallets. Thank you very much. Check my video. Yeah, okay, it all came through. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. He's got 8 facts about a place that he can't prove exists. And people line up to tell him this. This is sitting on some bullshit. Good.
Yes.
Guys, just so you guys know, again, I was calm. I haven't done this in a long time. I was going to go sit, pray to Jesus, read the book of Ecclesiastes, just have some orange juice. I have to drink alcohol now.
Straight
I
gin.
have a fucking stroke with this bullshit. This is horrible, man.
Yeah, it's wild. And the other thing I'll say too quickly about prayer is that shit is so tired. We literally know it doesn't work. And we allow people to pretend that they're concerned about things or that they want to help, and then do the one thing that we know is not helpful. Oh, did you just tell me you got diagnosed? I'm so sorry to hear that. I could offer, assistance. I could offer some childcare while you got to go to medical treatments. I could do you need a special diet that I could help you prepare, or a source, like anything that really helps? Instead, I'm saying, no, I'm gonna turn to Jesus and wish your cancer away.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Season. So I think the same can possibly be true of hell, that forever doesn't mean every moment is identical. If the punishment is measured, and even if sin is ongoing and maybe punishment continues to be ongoing, it doesn't mean that the punishment is the same in every moment for eternity. I don't know how it's different. All I'm saying is minimally this: we should not act like we know hell is a static experience, unchanging. We shouldn't act that way.
You should not act like you know hell is a real place to fucking begin with. And if there were a Christian here, which I don't think there are Christians brave enough to watch our content
Probably
mostly.
not.
But
Probably
if
not.
they were, the question would be, do you think any of this works? Like when I hit you with the I'm an atheist, I'm definitely gonna die an atheist, or whatever. Do you think I'm gonna burn? I deserve to burn in hell? The only correct answer that a Christian can come up with is no. Okay, but if you started tap dancing with the there's different types of judgment for different people. It's not a static experience. Actually, it changes over time. Well, did you know that actually, when you're in hell, you're gonna continue to sin, and so your continual rejection of God. Like, do you think any of that is gonna do anything to make you sound better?
No, to them, yes. To them, yes. But to us, it just sounds like tap dancing and bullshit. You're just reaching for a kinder way to call a black person a nigger.
Yes.
That's really all you're doing at this point, Christians.
Yeah.
And I think about the handful of Christians, because I've asked them, you've asked them, we've all asked them, do you really think I'm going to go to hell and be tortured forever? Normally, you kind of get the tap dancing. But every once in a while, you'll get the, do you really think I'm going to go to hell? Do you think that's more? Yes. At least you're honest.
Yeah, at least you're honest.
You,
right.
But at least you're honest. This is why, because I've seen, and we've all been caught. If you've talked to Christians about this, the whole, define what good is, right? It's like, well, it's what's the most amount of whatever, reduces pain. Good versus bad, the whole bullshit. And they immediately come with you. It's like, oh, so you're pro-life then? You don't want to harm a baby. And every time I've seen an atheist turn in a debate, like, oh, because it's kind of a gotcha. And I openly admit it is. And this is why now, if you can look me in my face and say, yeah, fuck you, you deserve to be tortured forever. It's like, so you think we should kill babies? My response is, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids.
Right.
If you can say that about me, then I'm going to say it about your argument too.
Absolutely.
Right. Again, first and foremost, for the newcomers, just so you know, I'm 100,000% pro-choice. That's her meat. That's her call. It's got nothing to do with me. Even if I'm the one that had sex with her, her body's rental space, not mine. But if you want to sit here and pull the whole, well, yeah, you deserve to be tortured, then I'm going to get the exact same energy back to you. So you think we should kill kids? Fuck them kids. Fuck them kids.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say earlier, which is you were talking about how we grew up, thinking it was all about love and feeding the poor and all of this good shit. Well, I'm sure you heard about that social experiment the woman did, right? Where she called all the churches for the baby formula. And the churches didn't mostly said no, they didn't have any baby formula. It's so funny because we live in this time where it's obvious churches actually don't help people, even with like hey, can I just get a couple bottles of baby formula? Most of them, they don't fucking do it. They're not actually helping. They're not actually going through any of this with people.
They don't give a shit. They'd much rather sit and say, hey, I'm doing X, Y, Z versus actually doing X, Y, and Z. These people don't give a fuck. They like to talk about it. They don't want to be about it. They're full of shit.
Yeah. So it's fucked. But yeah, that was the thing I wanted to remember. Churches do not fucking help people.
They don't care.
Be aspects of it that are unchanging. There may be aspects of it that change. We just don't know. So we shouldn't make a judgment about it based upon an assumption there. All right, that's number 3. The fourth issue is this. Sin is way, way worse than we think. This is actually a theme in Scripture, that sin is far worse than you think or I think. Right? When Adam and Eve ate, their response and the things that they do demonstrate that they're aware there's something wrong, but they don't seem to realize how bad it is. When Cain kills Abel, he doesn't seem to acknowledge how bad it is. You can feel this when you do a sin for the first time and you feel horrible about it. You do it for the 500th time.
Oh, based Asher said, my mom helps run the food pantry at her church, and I didn't have the heart to send that video to her. I understand. I know that's that's a personal challenge, and I always say that if you struggle to have these conversations with friends and family, participate in the exchange program, which is I'll curse out your family, you curse out mine, and then we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, no, I totally get you know, that's a tough conversation to have with people. But it is something I strongly believe. In other words, I don't, and again, I used to work at a church that did all those things. I worked at a church that was very community focused, AA meetings, food pantry. It was like a very urban church. We served communities that lived in the projects, and you know, it was a very like trying to help people. And there was never any like oh, you have to be a Christian. We had atheists that worked there. We didn't care, but still there was still this thing of you're doing it for the church. You're doing it as an advertisement.
Totally.
Even the scripture tells Christians that they should be good, because that is how they sell us on the concept of Christ. You were talking about this in your earlier video, about how it's a sales technique. So that's what bugs me about it now, is that, you know, and I hate to say this, but even the Christians that are pro LGBTQ and all that other shit, I don't get with it, because to them it's just a sales pitch. It's just a way to make their God more friendly so they could suck us in to more of the fucking bullshit. So
social lubricant.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
So that's the social experiment I'm always proposing next, is encourage churches to say, hey, I'd love to see you do that charity, but do it without advertising. Do it. Don't put your church name and hours on the box. Just drop the supplies off for the kids and go on about your business. And so it'd be interesting to see how many churches kept up their backpack drives and their soup kitchens and all that stuff if they weren't allowed to tie it to the church. If you just had to do it just to help with no other strings attached. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the people would still be down. A lot of the people would still want to help out or volunteer at the soup kitchen or whatever like that. But a lot of these churches, we'd realize they're out of the game as soon as they can't advertise. As soon as it's not helping that bottom line,
fuck that.
Fuck them kids.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and I remember the other thing I was going to say to you that was tied to the thing about churches not helping people. This is why I brought that up. I brought it up because when they talk about we need to be having kids, and they got their whole birther movement, and they're trying to, you know, they're worried about the great replacement and all this shit. How about some universal health care up in this bitch? Nah, fuck that. How about some free college options for people that make under $100,000? Nah, fuck that bullshit.
Nope.
How about some student loan debt relief so we can buy homes for these kids you want us to be having? Nah, fuck that shit. All right. How about food stamps? Nah, fuck that shit. What about the women's and infants program for poor single mothers? Fuck them kids.
Nope.
All right, well then fuck them kids. I don't want to hear your pro-life fucking bullshit when you literally don't want to do anything to contribute to our fucking lives.
They do not care. You couldn't have said it better. I mean, this is straight sitting on. So they are pro-forced birth, but as soon as that precious life got 2 feet on the ground, yeah, you nailed it. Fuck them kids.
Oh yeah. And for those that don't know, the boycott In-N-Out is because they're basically like the Chick-fil-A of burgers, like where all of their meals come with this Christian propaganda stuff. And they're like tied explicitly to the. I didn't know either. Kyle just looked into. She's out in Cali, and she went to In-N-Out Burger and like noticed all this fucked up propaganda and did a deep dive. But yeah, they're part of that corporate Christofascism for sure.
Did not know that. Thank you for the heads
Yeah,
up.
me either. I just got educated on that recently.
Okay.
Registers how much that I do, whether it's gossip or selfishness or just a harsh word, cruelty to people, responding wrongly to somebody, that it's just I'm calloused and I don't see how. I know it's wrong. I get
shout out from the squid.
The squid. I saw that. I know
Hell to the yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming through. Hell yeah.
As much as it hurts me to say it, next week. No, I'm not going to say anchors away. I'm just going to say go Army.
Oh, is the big game next week?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Army, Navy. We have to find.
I think she's lying because she said earlier in the week that she's kind of go Army now. Yeah. In some way, somehow, for the last 5 years, it's been anchors away. Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying that. I need a picture of her with an Army shirt on.
Yeah, we're gonna need some proof or it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Go Army.
Realize how bad it is.
Good to
Let me give you a
Squid.
scripture that kind of helps show some of this. Jeremiah 6:15. This verse talks about this issue, and it says, "Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination?" The people of Israel, no, they're not ashamed at all, not even remotely, nor did they know how to blush. God is not just saying, hey, they sinned. He's highlighting a problem, which is that they don't even recognize how bad the sin is. And so it says, therefore, they shall fall among those who fall.
Again, Mike, you have the appearance of a grown-ass man, but every time you open your mouth, I swear a toddler is speaking. They didn't blush at all because sin is made up. Which is the funny thing is crazy is these are like the one group that actually also takes sin seriously. But it's like, dude, it's a made up fucking concept. I will tell you this too.
Oh, God.
A lot of you probably haven't seen this up close, but I will tell you what I've seen up close. And that is, I remember I was playing at a church and I like to go to their events. I don't know why. They weren't paying me, so I thought it was a good idea to volunteer even more of my time. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But actually, I remember it was fun. I was trying to learn them, right? I was trying to understand how they tick, what makes them tick, and what they're really like. But anyway, on this one retreat we went, there was like a young men's session, and they all started basically talking about, most of them porn, and a few of them girlfriends. And so it was either guilt and shame over their porn consumption or guilt and shame over, catching a hand job from their girlfriend. Mind you, they're in college at like a major fucking large state university, right? And the weeping, the fact that they were literally made to feel so guilty that they're literally crying and convicted of their sin. And I remember having a few mixed emotions at that time. One was, of course, just feeling terrible for them. Like, this is terrible. Like, this doesn't make any sense for us to be making young people feel this guilty about doing things that are literally not even wrong. The other was the audacity of privilege. The audacity to take these young, it's a pretty much all white church. So you're talking about young, mostly, some working class, but mostly middle class and young men from good families with resources and every opportunity in the world ahead of them. And instead of giving them a real problem to solve, go out there and tackle racism, tackle capitalism, tackle misogyny, defend the poor, build shelter in the global south, change the motherfucking world, solve a real fucking problem. It is break them down to tears over the fact that they touched themselves or touched their girlfriends. Wow. And it's just so silly.
Bullshit. It is. It's sad.
It's so silly. So yeah.
Well, when you went to bed, your house was a nice, comfortable 72 degrees. You wake up and your house is now 1,700 degrees. Your lungs are being singed with carbon dioxide. And as you're trying to wake your partner up to get them out of the house, your partner's like, what are we going to have for lunch tomorrow? And like, you are officially focusing on the wrong shit. Right? The house is on fire. And if we don't get out, we're going to fucking die. And we're going to be the next people on an MSNBC fucking Dateline story. This is sitting on some bullshit. And you're in college. You'll never guess what? You will never be hornier and more confused. Yeah. You're out of your mommy's house for the very first time. You've got all the freedom of the adult, but none of the responsibility. You're going to do a lot of fucking up, welcome to the world. This is right. And when you're in college and you're being punished for having a sex drive, I mean, of the top 25 things you need to worry about while you're in college, having sex is not one. I mean, teach people how to be safe, teach people consent and shit like that. But other than that, you cut them loose and you be like, have some fun, go learn some shit about yourself. But yeah, I mean, holy crap, you're going to sit here and be mad at a kid for getting a hand job or doing some premarital fucking. I don't even know what to say to that.
Exactly. It's fucking crazy.
It's horrible. It's absolutely fucking horrible.
And at the time I punish them, they shall be cast down, says the Lord. What's one of the reasons they're being punished? This is like meta information about the Bible, at least if I understand the word meta right. One of the functions of punishment is to strip away the calluses and show us how bad sin is. Think about this for a moment with me. Many of you probably never thought about this way. One of the functions and purposes of punishment is to strip away the calluses and show us how bad sin is. That is, I think, how punishment functions. It's how it functions here in Jeremiah. He's like, you can't blush. So he's going to effectively teach them how bad their sin is with great and serious punishments. And it's actually, this is the deportation and all this other stuff that I read about or talked about earlier about Lamentations. Punishment wakes us up. So I think if you look at hell and you go, man, this seems too extreme. Oh, this seems so extreme. And hopefully you don't have a wrong view of it. Hopefully you realize not everyone gets the same punishment. They don't stop sinning, and there's no reason to think that it's just a static experience forever. But we should absolutely think that sin is worse than we realize. That's the function of the law, in fact. Huge theme in Scripture. The law is there to...
There's another problem with all this, too. These are not the conversations people have about hell. This is not what I've never, no. He's like, I'm answering 8 frequently asked questions about hell. From who? From
exactly.
Who has ever asked any? I've never heard anybody ask about different punishments.
Never.
Is it static or not? Do you continue to sin? Now, I will tell you what people do debate. Is it just separation from God? Mm-hmm. Is it eternal conscious torment?
Yep.
Is it an actual lake of fire where I'm going to burn? Mike, tell me what's up. If I was really talking to Christian, no. I'm an atheist. Tell me what's going to happen to me on the day of judgment. And if you think I'm going to burn in hell, tell me burn, baby, burn. And if you think I'm just going to be destroyed or so, and the reason I brought that up, gang, is because it shows you how this is functioning. This is functioning to reinforce the believers, already kind of hard-won indoctrination into their hell concept, and then they can fit this in wherever they want rather than him having to actually answer the hard questions. And then the other thing it does is to me, and maybe he'll get to these other versions or whatever, but one of the things I've always thought that does is it subverts the real nastiness of the different options. So here's what I mean by that. A lot of us came up Baptist, Pentecostal, whatever. So you were introduced to hell, and you think of hell as like the way the cartoon depiction, right? The Satan and fire, and you're gonna burn, and it sucks, and whatever. And then as you get older or run into different people, you might get introduced to these other concepts: eternal conscious torment, it's just separation from God, annihilation, whatever it is. And the thing that I think people are so wormy about is when you talk to them, they'll use an alternative version of hell to make it sound better. Oh, Robert, I don't believe in the lake of fire. God, Robert, no wonder you're an atheist. You believe in a lake of fire? Yeah, that's so silly. No, it's just a state of eternal conscious torment because you are denied God's presence, right? But if you're a Christian and you actually have that debate, it'll be the opposite. It'll be, you're so silly. What? A lake of fire? No, that's ridiculous. There's no lake of fire. There's nothing biblical about that.
Nope.
It's actually eternal conscious torment based on being separated from God, ... And that's worse. The lake of fire is a silly, unrealistic image that we give to children because they're not able to conceive of the magnitude of really being separated from God. So when we really teach you that hell is actually being separated from God from eternity, you're supposed to understand that it's actually worse.
Okay, so years ago, and the pastor I always tell you all about, Kenny brought a partner of his to kind of double team me during one of our talks. And we were talking about the topic of hell. And I brought up exactly that, right? Look, conscious eternal torment is sitting on some bullshit. It's immoral. Just stop playing. And I remember he literally laughed at me. He did. He's like, again, same thing. Like, no wonder you're an atheist. Silly atheist. It's not torture, Robert. You're separated from God. So it's like torture. I just sat there and like, did you just hear what you just said? What's the fucking difference? You're being separated from all that is eternally good and all the bullshit. So it's like torture. So if it's like torture, then it's torture. Right? Silly bitch. You're gonna get the ice cubes. No wonder you need some discipline. No, I didn't hit you with my closed fist, but it feels like it's my closed fist. So I hit you with my closed fist. No matter how you try to wrap up abuse, at the end of the day, it's still abuse. No one asks to be abused. No one dressed like that, so they didn't ask for it. Stop with the bullshit. Right? Again, there are different layers of hell. At the end of the day, you're hurting somebody.
Right.
No, Christians, tell me, make that sound better. And just so you guys know, I'm not going to play the song because I'm not getting this channel taken down because I've got my channel taken down. But you'll never guess who won the football game just now. The Saints. What? The Saints won. Oh my God.
Nice.
I finally have a reason to not be grumpy. The Saints just fucking won their third game of the fucking season. We're not going to go to the playoffs, but I feel better now. Who dat? Holy shit.
Do you guys want to ruin this beautiful moment?
Oh no, what are you going to do?
See, Robert, the reason you're still a Saints fan is because God is working on your heart.
Man,
it's coming.
Let me have this moment. Let me have this moment. Hold on. It's on my goddamn. Yeah, I can't even put my calf up there. I got it tattooed on my calf. Oh, we did it. I just got the update. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh,
who did they beat today?
We beat the fucking Falcons. No, who did we play? I can't even remember. I don't even give a
who
shit.
Who gives a shit?
We won. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I throw that out there. Go Saints. Who dat?
Yeah.
Oh.
I gotta admit, there's probably I'll be honest. There's a lot of non-sports fans in the audience, but of the sports fans, I'm sure a lot of people root for the Saints just to help out Uncle Bobby.
Well, thank you so much. In case you guys are not aware, I've been a lifelong Saints fan. My family's from New Roads, Louisiana, which is about 90 minutes away from New Orleans. And I have been a long suffering fucking Saints fan. So you take the victories when they get here. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. All right, go Saints.
Show you how bad sin is, and how does the law show you how
Cheers.
bad sin is?
I'll
New
take,
Testament, right?
I
'Cause it talks about this in great
got
detail.
my whiskey. I'll take a shot with you.
My man.
To the Saints.
Go Saints. Who dat?
Who dat, baby?
By telling you that whoever sins will die, and then listing
Oh yeah,
all the
PC's from
sins
South
that
Louisiana.
can lead to death. By showing you the punishment is
Me
extreme.
too.
Therefore, you must realize the sin is really bad. This is my view towards hell. I hope it can be your view, even if it's not yet. I hope you move in this direction. God is holy, just, and good. If he punishes people this strongly, then people must be sinning really bad. That's the logical perspective, I think. It's illogical to think, well, God must be.
Ladies in the audience, please forgive me for what it is I'm getting ready to say. I struggle to hear the difference between that and what was she wearing? Was she flirting with him? I saw her have a drink at the bar with the guy. Clearly, she wanted it. If God is hurting you, clearly there's a reason for him to do it. You are literally making an excuse for a sexual abuser, Mike. Please, from the bottom of my one-sided ball sack, please go fuck yourself. That was horrible. And again, the only way you can say this out loud and not get shut down and make money at the same time is to say this in the name of Christianity. But if I, as a teacher, if you guys is just regular people, I'm just going to make the broad assumption that I'm the only self-defense teacher in this conversation. If any of you sat there and looked a survivor of that crime in the face, it's like, man, that was sitting on some bullshit. What happened to me last night? And you're like, I saw what you were wearing. Mini skirt? What do you think that was going to happen? What's the fucking difference? This right. God of yours is stronger than strong, smarter than smart. What can't this fuck face do? And you literally just blamed. I didn't even know what to say to that.
And then, but we could take it further. And this is why we played the video that we did at the beginning about Nigeria, because you're supposed to be telling me sin is so unacceptable. It's so fucking scary. But then you're happy to hear a man who's committed 36 felonies, convicted of 36 felonies, go invade a country full of black people. You have no concern for his role in literally the largest pedophile ring I've ever heard of in my life. Talk about the victimization of women. First of all, we're talking about the victimization of girls. Okay, Uncle Bobby, isn't 1,000 victims? Isn't that like war at that point? Aren't there wars with smaller totals than fucking 1,000?
Yep.
And if we know about 1,000, what's the real number?
Exactly.
But again, I don't see any of this stuff. No, for some reason, the apologists never want to talk about the Epstein files. I find that so weird that they don't find this to be something to make content about.
It's quite simple. They don't care. They do not care. They do not give a fuck. Again, you would not date someone who had this much questionable character. Right. If someone came to my door and wanting to take my daughter to the prom, and there were 36 allegations of sex, you got me fucked up. Mr. Reed, I'm here to take your daughter to the I won't even say what I would do to this motherfucker.
Right.
I will not even say what I would do to this motherfucker. But
you don't have to, because they would never ask your daughter out.
Absolutely not. And so again,
they know what time it is.
The Epstein files, I wonder why. You're happy that this felon, a convicted felon, this is just going to be a Trump bashing show. Fuck the bullshit. You guys understand that as a felon, that there are states that he literally cannot vote in? If Donald Trump came to Texas to vote for Donald Trump, he wouldn't be able to do it because convicted felons can't own guns in Texas. and they can't vote in Texas. Ask Marion Jones, an Olympic sprinter, lied about steroid use to the feds. She got convicted of felony, perjury. Marion Jones, to this day, cannot vote or own a gun in the state of Texas, and she lied about taking steroids. Donald Trump is a convicted felon, and we were harder on an Olympic sprinter who wanted to win world records. We were harder on a woman who wanted to run fast than a man who's now sitting in the White House. Mike Winger, this is your motherfucker. Based, you're absolutely right. Fuck Donald Trump and everything he stands for and everyone who still supports him.
Yeah, and
sitting on some bullshit.
And around here, I've been saying this thing, which is Christianity has to go down with Trump. Two things, really. One is I'm doing a new thing. All right, so Uncle Bob, I gotta tell you about this new thing. So you know how there was the new atheism with Hitchens and all them fuckers? Well, they all, you know, the thing with them was they were like too angry or whatever, right? Although it turns, and then they're, of course, they're accused of being too left and too woke, but they were all a bunch of neocons, right? They ended up all being conservative transphobes, basically, with the exception of Daniel Dennett, may he rest in peace. So fuck them. And then there's this new thing which they're calling analytical atheism, and that's the Alex O'Connor thing. So the new atheist is not angry. The analytical atheist is not angry. The analytical atheist is happy to engage in intellectual conversations about the merits of Christianity, right? So then you have all these I'm culturally Christian. I wish Christianity was true. Jesus was the most amazing historical important character ever. I need to learn about him. Right? That's what the quote unquote analytics. Yeah. So our thing is we are unapologetic atheism, and we're not just atheists. We're the atheists that want to end religion, and we want to end it now. We're tired of it dominating our lives. So that's piece number one. And then the thing is the other thing is Christianity's got to go down with Trump. And the reason I say that is because we like to point to the Bible for horrible examples. We like to point to the Bible, say it endorses slavery, genocide, misogyny, all that good stuff, right? But we're reaching into the past, right? Trump allows us to say, look at this uniquely Christian phenomenon right now. This is a thing that most evangelicals found their way to get on board with. And this is a thing that when you look at who his base is and who's in power and who they are, it's mostly evangelical Christians and right-wing Catholics and all these other people, right? Absolutely. So now it's like, I don't have to go to the Bible to talk about the Bible endorsing slavery. I can talk about MAGA and what Christians in America have done. You know, I even say since 2020. Let's talk about what y'all did during the fucking pandemic. Let's talk about what y'all have done with the Me Too movement. Let's talk about the whole shit with Black Lives Matter, right? And then let's fucking talk about Trump. So when that motherfucker goes down, y'all got some fucking splaining to do about how that was your guy and how you are failing to meet the moment now. Right? So along with that, with this Epstein shit, part of the real accountability for the Epstein shit has to be Christian culture. Where this is where y'all were conditioned in your churches to ignore when the leader is a sexual predator. And so it's not a coincidence that this culture produced that. This is what this culture does. Then on top of that, you have them trying to lower the age of consent, even though it's already 16 in many states. They want it lower than that. They want to make it legal to lower also the age at which you can be tried as an adult. They want to take K-12 education out of the Department of Education and put it into the Department of Labor so that you're old enough to go to work, okay? And then at the same time, these are the people who want to pass the laws so that you can marry children,
Yep.
And when we say, no, I don't want to pass laws to marry children, and I don't want to lower the age of consent, they say, but you're violating my religious freedom. So what you're telling me, Mr. Conservative politician, is that me wanting you to not marry children and not have sex with children is against your religious freedom? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, well then y'all don't get to pretend that this Epstein shit is a fucking surprise. Who knew? How could they behave like this? I don't understand why are they acting like this?
Yep. But here's the thing. Again, we have made the mistake of thinking that being like Jesus or God means being kind. That's been the big problem. Now we are seeing exactly what their Jesus and their God is. You fucking nailed it, my dude. Because I remember thinking about all the times I've brought up the book of Deuteronomy. One of the prescriptions for what happens to a woman when she's been violated is to sell her to her rapist.
Right.
And the number of Christians that have backpedaled, made excuses, then there's the ones that straight up say, well, that's a good thing. Well,
yeah, that's how they took care of the victims.
Right. And what if he's rich? I mean, holy crap. Would it be great if
somebody did the Michael Dell thing. Yeah.
I mean, why are you complaining? You got paid. And so now we are seeing the real-time manifestation of what that holy text actually fucking preaches. And for every Christian that's ever said, well, that's the Old Testament, really, because we're seeing it played out real fucking time. There's always a reason why Trump's not guilty. There's always a reason why those 36 convictions are sitting on some bullshit. There's always a reason why we shouldn't release the Epstein file. We are seeing the real-time manifestation of the Bible. It's right in front of our face, folks. It is. And again, when you got someone like Mike Winger frothing at the mouth, because now we get to kill black people, give me a fucking break. Like we were talking about with Black Lives Matter. I almost can't believe the number of people who talk to me with vigor and enthusiasm. And I still remember the first time I heard someone literally say, oh, Black Lives Matter. I'm like, yeah, they kind of do. I've got one of them. These motherfuckers are emboldened. They feel good about their prejudice, and they've got biblical support for it.
Right. They're trying to make a saint out of Charlie Kirk.
Exactly. Oh, fuck. Charlie Kirk was an asshole. And I told y'all before in a previous video, if I had a full bladder and he was on fire, I would much rather piss in my pants than piss on him.
Absolutely.
Right? Again, it's just like we are seeing the Bible being played out real fucking time. I mean, give me a break.
Absolutely.
I'm getting one more cocktail because you guys are stressing me out.
Yeah, go for it, man. We're having a good time, man.
We are. You guys are making me drink. I picked the wrong day for sobriety.
Wrong. Well, let's go to number 5. Part of hell can be viewed as consequence, not merely punishment. It's connected to punishment. I'm not separating it from that. But
oh, come on. Consequence. Okay. What was she wearing? Why did you put the wrong number?
Yes.
What if we view hell as consequence?
You walked right into it.
That is abusive talk game if I've ever fucking heard it. Right? Okay, fine, suck my dick, but you didn't put a finger at my butthole. Now, someone needs a meeting. Someone needs a reminder of how to get this job done. What if we view hell as a consequence? In other words, let's blame the victim for what's happening to them. Why did you give me hurt you? I didn't want to hit you, but apparently you need a reminder on who's running this motherfucker. That's exactly what he just said. And again, when you're in church, You pull out 10% of your income and you pay for this bullshit. If God's name was Franklin, you'd be in my self-defense class. If your daughter was in this situation, you would call me. This is sitting on, listen to what he just said. What if we view hell as a consequence? God fostered the environment for you to fail, then punishes you for failing.
Absolutely.
Give me a break. That is abuse, man. That is abuse.
100%. A fucking 100,000%.
YouTube Punk, I haven't seen you in a long time, man.
Hey. Yeah, no, YouTube Punk is part of the motherfucking race to the comment section.
Yep.
You know, the blood sport. It's YouTube Punk and Paulie B and me and Kyle and sometimes PC and sometimes it's Carrie. And now we got newer people coming in. That's why this Kyle thing is serious, because now C's always racing to the fucking thing. Listen, gang, I'm just telling you, there's levels to this game. So if you're not subscribed to the Lil Chrissy channel, again, there's a link in description. People have been dropping it. Make sure you're subscribed, and more importantly, make sure you're sharing it. But I'm gonna tell you, like I said, there's levels to this. And so if you're just a subscriber, you are not even in the fucking game, gang. I swear to you, it is a fucking serious competition to be the first into the comment section. So that means if you don't have your fucking notifications set to all, if you are not getting those notifications, you have no chance. I promise you. I promise you I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. If you want to have any fucking shot at sniffing victory in this competition, you need to have them notifications on and treat them. I get mad as hell because sometimes I get in my car and I got my notification as soon as I fucking pulled up my app, but I was just teaching and I'm fucking 6 minutes late and there's like fucking 5 commenters already.
Knuckle up. I like that.
It's fucking serious.
I got both of the dogs.
So consider
here we go.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. Here, oh, that's Bubba. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Okay, Bubba, I can't get both of you up here. This is some bullshit. Okay. Let the fight begin. Here we go. Here we go with the bullshit. Okay.
When I want an intellectual challenge on the level of Christianity, I watch dogs play and try to figure out the rules.
Okay, guys, just go. All right, so just so you got Bubba. Okay.
It's brotherly love.
Yeah, Bubba's headbutting Papa, trying to get him to run. Papa saying, "Go fuck yourself." Okay, Bubba just went outside trying to get Bubba. Yeah, Papa, go. He's trying to. Okay, Papa's going to take the bait. He's at the door. Okay, his ears are pinned. Okay. As soon as Bubba walks his fat ass up here, Papa's going to pounce. Look, okay. So Bubba is Bubba. Look at you. Here we go. They're just staring. And here we go. The bullshit.
There we go.
Do you guys mind? Can I do my show?
You think they'd have the hierarchy worked out by now?
Oh, this has been.
It's like WWE up in that bitch.
It is. Guys. Jesus.
And this Saturday at Saturday night's main event.
If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Let me tell you something, brother.
All right, let me roll this fucked up ass tape.
Roll the fucked up ass tape. Come on. Let's do this.
A man cheats on his wife serially, or perhaps he's abusive, or both, and she rightly divorces him, or vice versa. A woman cheats on her husband serially, is unrepentant, she's abusive in extreme ways, and then he divorces her. Now imagine this. She's like, hey, it's been 20 years since you divorced me. I know I did all those bad things, but haven't I suffered enough? Shouldn't you take me back? There's an appropriateness to say, in this case, no, like it's not just about how much you've suffered. It's about the permanence of that moment. You did something and the consequences are the permanent severing of a relationship. That's it. This is not to be my full answer in any way, shape, or form, but I think there's a piece of it here. Since you've rejected Jesus, and he's the only way for you to actually be transformed, you ultimately have chosen to be outside the community of God. And that's a permanent thing. It's a consequence, not just a punishment. The next thing, number 6, is, and this I got to be.
All right, pause the fucking tape. All right, so first off, this idea of, notice the bait and switch. Notice how reality, it's supposed to be a punishment, it's supposed to be a consequence. So even if you're on board with all of that shit, which I don't know how on earth you could be, but even if you were, it's supposed to be some real fucked up shit. You're supposed to now tell me I did the bad thing, and then, you know, the bad thing now needs this punishment or this consequence.
Yeah.
But notice the bait and switch. What you really did was reject Jesus. This is what you're always saying. God doesn't really care how you behave or what you do. He only cares what you believe. So rather than this being a punishment or consequence for I was fucking Hitler, it's actually, no, it's a punishment consequence because you rejected Jesus. So that's a fucking problem right there. The other thing is, it's not a good analogy, because the analogy would be better if it was like the husband coerced you. He convinced you that actually his fantasy is to see you with another man, and it would turn him on. And if you could just like get with another man, he would think that is like the hottest fucking sexiest thing ever. Then you fucking do it. Then he's like, bitch, what the fuck?
Well, you told me to let him put it in my ass. That's all the comment.
So, you know, it's totally fucked up, because it's like, I designed you, I intended you, I knew when I formed you, you were gonna do this fucked up thing, and it was actually all a part of my fucking plan, and all you were actually doing was playing your fucking role in my motherfucking plan, but now I'm gonna punish you for it. Okay, and then
do exactly what I told you to do.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, speaking of Jesus, it misrepresents the nature of forgiveness. And this is something I've tried to talk about before. But basically, let's say Uncle Bobby invites me to the house, and I'm like, oh my God, Uncle Bobby, I'm so excited. I always wanted to come kick it. Let's watch the Saints and eat buffalo wings, right? And I get so fucking excited, I accidentally knock over a lamp. And the lamp only costs like $20, but it's like a sentimental, like, family thing. And it fucking sucks. And I'm like, oh my God, Uncle Bobby, like, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, I knocked over your lamp. Like, I'm not skilled enough to like glue it back together. But how much did it cost you? Look, here's $20. Get yourself another lamp. And Uncle Bobby says, no, I forgive you. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It did have sentimental value to me, but it's an object. It's all good. Like, I forgive you. Okay. He still lost a fucking lamp. He is still out that $20, and he will never get back this sentimental object that was important to his family. But that's what it means to forgive. My point is that forgiveness literally means to bear the cost of whatever the loss or the wrong was. It doesn't disappear, but that's what forgiveness means. Forgiveness means I'm still going to bear that burden, but I've chosen to absolve you of responsibility for it. I'm just going to have to live with it. And so Christians are always misrepresenting this shit when they're like, he's fucking God, and he just can't be in the presence of a motherfucking sinner, and he demands absolute motherfucking retribution for sin, and you can't get into his presence unless you like, and it's like, you are totally not getting how fucking forgiveness works.
Exactly. It's first and foremost, where is it? Yeah, based. I'm glad you thought that was funny, because actually so did I. But thank you so much for laughing at that. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm glad you found that funny. But everything about this is abusive language. Absolutely, positively, everything about what is coming out of Mike's mouth is, how dare you do exactly what it is I told you to do. What was she wearing? Why did you flirt with him? And I'm acknowledging that I'm being very stereotypical when I'm saying girl to guy. It's what I do for a living, so I'm acknowledging that. But everything this motherfucker is talking about is making an excuse for an abuser / rapist. And that's all I'm hearing out of this motherfucker.
When he's not making excuses for an actual abuser / rapist, and at some point, it's just not a coincidence anymore.
With you guys here and say that hopefully I'll clear these things up in the future. I'll be doing a project on this one day, but there are things I do not know about hell. Surprise. I'm open to the idea, although I'm not persuaded of it, and I'm not in that camp at all right now, okay? But I'm open to the possibility of annihilationism or conditional immortality. This is the view that somebody, when they die, there's a temporary season of punishment that it does involve physical, usually annihilationists would say physical suffering, but then you die, right? Like you cease existing and you're gone. So annihilation is what happens to you. They say conditional immortality because that represents how they get to their view. Is it's the nature. Nobody's immortal naturally. You have to be made immortal, and God's not going to do that to you if you're not saved. Now, I used to feel like this was just straight up like heresy. This was many, many years ago, right? Because I thought conditional immortality was just, that's like Jehovah's Witness stuff, right? Annihilationism. It's not really an exclusively Jehovah's Witness. It is in their teachings, but it's not representative of like, if you're
also it definitely is. And I actually want to finish this because I'm sorry, like I actually think it's interesting to hear how he fucking deals with this topic. Yeah. But it's a weird thing because when I think of this shit as the annihilationism thing or conditional immortality, whatever you want to call it, I just think it's so fucking boring. It's just like you just lost your sales pitch. The whole sales pitch of Christianity is you're fucked eternally one way or the other. You're going to end up eternally on your knees licking God's booty hole, or you're going to end up eternally suffering because you're not licking God's booty hole. If you're just like, oh, well, I believe I'm saved and I dedicated my life to Christ and I don't sin, so I'm going to go live for eternally licking his booty hole. And because you're a big bad atheist, you're just going to die. Motherfucker, that was already my game plan. Cool, I'm out. See you later. Like, no part of that is gonna make me more amenable to Christianity. Oh, I just think if you're not saved, you're gonna die. All right, cool. Peace. Let's eat nachos.
This is so hard to listen to. There's so many things that I want to say that I'm not going to say because it's coming from my real life experience as a teacher. But I mean, all I am hearing. So for those of you who haven't seen a lot of my channel, I'll say this much. One of the more memorable cases I ever had to deal with, it was a married woman and the husband was abusive in a sexual manner. He was into a certain act that she was not into, and the only time he would do it was when she was in the shower. Every once in a while, while she was taking a shower, he would walk into the shower with her and do this thing. And I remember she would say, as much as she didn't like it, it only took about 3 to 5 minutes. And as long as he did it, she didn't fight, it was over. And it's a discussion that wouldn't have to be had for another month or so. She would just take it. That's still abuse, gang. That's still RAPE, whether you're married to him or not. Just because he's married to you doesn't mean he owns your holes. Those are still your holes, and you get to decide what goes in them and what doesn't go in them. And so when I sit here and I hear Mike say things that are they're literally victim blaming. I have a hard time not tuning this shit out. It's literally, what are you wearing? Did you piss him off? How many ice cubes you put in his drink? Oh, you made the steak mid-rare? Why didn't you make it medium the way he likes it? Well, there's different levels of hell. Well, did you ever stop to think that you deserve to be beat up because you were a sinner? He is making excuses for an abuser. Again, take the word Jehovah out and put the name James in. You would be calling a self-defense teacher. You wouldn't be tithing. This is so fucked up.
Okay, all right. So this is my thing. I'm glad you went there, because this is what's changed my tune a lot. And to be honest, it's why the new direction of my channel, I would say, actually has a lot of conflict with atheists and people on the left, because I still feel like so many of them do the liberal whitewashing of Christianity. They do the, oh well, you're one of the nice Christians, or
Okay,
that whole deal.
Click on what Based said right there.
Okay, let me put it up.
Sounds full of himself. You're right, Based, because every abuser is full of themselves. They are bullies.
Number one, how boring, and number two, Yahweh sounds full of himself. Yeah,
because
exactly.
Again, a bully is not going to punch at someone that they know in advance is probably going to punch back. They're going to do it to someone who they've beaten down to the point to where they can they're not the toughest person in the room. They're the biggest fucking cowards. And you're right. They're so full of themselves. It's like a vampire. A vampire doesn't suck blood because they want to. They do it because they have to. They can't create their own red blood cells, so they take it from you. That bully, the rapist, the fucking abuser, they're taking confidence from you because they can't make their own. And so they feel better when they beat the fuck out of and abuse other people.
Yeah.
Keep going, man. Base, you fucking nailed it. You nailed it.
Base, great comments. I just wanted to also say you're in the right place. We are a community of people who were also Christians till way too late in life, and reflect as like, I can't believe I used to be a Christian. But
you're not alone. I stayed until I was 39. You're in
good company.
You're all right.
So I'll say this, and I think I'm going to start calling it the Uncle Bobby Challenge, because what you just touched on is what I try to lay out, and I do think it's a challenge for even other atheists, which is this: you lay out the 4 irrational beliefs of battered spouse syndrome, the irrational belief that your abuser's omnipresent, the irrational belief that if they don't get to you, they'll get to your loved ones, the irrational belief that you find your purpose and meaning in your abuser, and the irrational belief that the abuse is your fault. Okay, those 4 things, those are the diagnosable criteria. Every single one of them hits on Christianity. But here's the challenge. You then taught us, no matter what, you never validate the abuser. I don't care if she hits you with the, oh, but he's such a great youth soccer coach and he provided this great life for us. Oh, when he's attentive, he's the best love maker I've ever been with. He's such an amazing parent. Like, none of it. It doesn't fucking matter. It's fuck him, he's an abuser, leave. Fuck him, he's an abuser, leave. Fuck him, he's an abuser, leave. Right? Because anything else, you are telling her that you are endorsing there being some legitimate reason that trumps his abuse, why it's okay to stay with him. And so you're literally trying to tell us, if you find yourself in this situation and your friend comes to you and you realize she's in she's in this abusive relationship, you now have an obligation to not validate that abuser. It's serious shit. But we do it with Christians all the time. We say, "Oh, I get it. You get a sense of hope, meaning, and purpose from this. Oh, I get it. You feel like this gets you through hard times. Oh, I get it. You know, this is what was passed down to you in your culture, in your community. Oh, I get it. You're just being a really good person and you do a lot of charity in the name of Jesus." And I'm like, sorry, Uncle Bobby told me I do not validate the motherfucking abuser. I don't give a shit about none of that. It's lies and it's evil and I'm out.
Exactly. The one thing I tell the women that come to my class every single time without fail: if a predator looked like a predator,
they would never predate. There it is.
Right. If the guy on date number 1 says, "I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to violate you, I'm going to dehuman," you'd be like, "Check, please." Check, please. You would get the fuck out. Every rapist, every abuser has a best friend. and I'm being stereotypical, I acknowledge that. He's somebody's best friend. He's someone's frat brother. He's somebody's son. He's a church leader. He's a coach.
Yep.
He's everything.
Yep.
He has to be the smoothest motherfucker in every conversation. Because just like Mike Winger, right? Oh, did you think you deserve to be fucked up? It's your fault. Every rapist has got a best friend, right? When Jerry Sandusky got popped, how many people came out and said, "What? No,
not Coach Sandusky." Yeah,
no. He writes books. He's got that foundation called Touched. What? Every rapist has got a best friend. God has an apologist to make excuses for the fucked up shit he does. And we literally just sat there and we heard Mike Winger say, you're the one who sinned. So, okay, you're going to get fucked up. But the good news is there's different levels to the fucked up.
Right.
It's your fault.
Right.
It's your fault. You were wearing a mini skirt. Why were you wearing thigh-high boots? That's sitting on some bullshit. Yeah, okay. Were your titties out? Well, of course he's going to motorboat them. You put your titties in his face. Every rapist has got a best friend that will make an excuse for why he did what he did. Again, every rapist has got a best friend, and God has an apologist.
Absolutely.
Right? Again, it's like,
absolutely.
Well, if there is no God, what's wrong with raping somebody? I've literally heard apologists say that.
Yep, say it all the time.
No different.
Yeah.
Mike Winger's no different.
Yeah. I call that Christian nihilism. It's like they actually really have no morality at all. It's
Zero.
just
Zero.
If I don't, it's the ultimate example of being a sore loser, right? Hey, if I can't beat the University of Texas, why even play the game by the rules?
Exactly.
Was witness all these weird beliefs you have about Jesus and doctrines all force this view. Not necessarily. There's a much wider group of people who hold this view, non-Christians as well as real Christians. And again, I'm saying this for now because in the future I'm going to do an actual study on the topic of hell, and I'm going to deal with all this annihilationist stuff as well.
Let's not say we
what
did.
I will say is this,
we'll be skipping that.
Said is at least the conditional immortality perspective, when it's shared by someone who's doing a good job trying to communicate why they believe that, it's more impressive than I thought. The Bible does have I see both. It has destruction language that sounds like you're just gone, you're just destroyed. But it also has language that says like everlasting punishment that seems more easy to explain on the idea that you continue to exist. This is why eternal conscious torment comes into play as the view that I think is far more typical.
So this is actually
Christians.
Worse than what we were talking about when we said he's not even going to go there. So rather than just leaving it open and giving you the chance to slide in with whichever interpretation of hell you like, he's going to actively hedge his bets and make sure you can choose your own adventure.
This guy's a fucking worse.
He is. We're almost done though. I think we're going to make it.
Come on. We can do it.
But it's not heresy. It's not like they're denying Christ or something like that. Like this is a view within Christianity where we can agree to disagree. And some people have that view, and I have not vetted it fully, so I throw it out there as information I don't know the answers to.
And again, okay. Like, bro, this is your motherfucking job, and you can't even tell me what hell is where. You can't tell me which one's legit. Again, like this is what you do for a living, and you have no clarity on the topic.
It's what if, maybe, kind of slightly, that these guys don't even know what the fuck it is you're talking about. They don't.
That is crazy. Your life is dedicated to avoiding a place that you cannot even describe.
But he said in the beginning of the video, I've got 8 facts.
8 facts.
He's got no idea what the fuck it is he's talking about.
apparently we have to reteach the Christians what facts are.
Yep.
Number 7, we only got 2 more. The people in hell, at least in some sense of the term, they do not want God. They might want out of hell, but they don't want heaven in its fullness. In a sense, they'd be like, yeah, take me to heaven. I want to go. But if they don't really want heaven in its fullness, because its fullness is Christ and the holiness of God and the transformation.
more abusive talk.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's like, bitch, I know I didn't tell you how many ice cubes to put in my drink, but you got it wrong. You clearly don't want to not get your ass handed to you. So I'm here to make your dreams come true. Go in there, get that belt. Someone needs some discipline, and it's not me. That's all that
I
is.
also heard Darvo. I heard I'm the real victim here. Yeah. I didn't want to beat you or treat you this way, but you're using me.
Yep.
I thought when we walked down that aisle and your father, who you used to belong to, signed over the deed and gave me the keys to the car, and now you belong to me. I thought you were gonna love me for me. And it turns out you're using me. You like this life I provide for you. You like me coaching your kids. You like me making love to you, but you don't love me for me. So now I'm going to whoop. It's not that I want to whoop your ass. It's that you're using me. That's what the fuck he's talking about. They want out of hell. They don't want to be suffering anymore, but they don't really want God for God. So whoop. They don't really love him. They just want the fucking pain to stop. So fuck them.
You're making me send you to hell. That is exactly.
You're making me send you to hell. Exactly.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
Yep. Look what you made me do to you. Exactly,
punk.
Yep.
That comes by the Spirit. And these are things where, like in John, it talks about people who love the darkness so they don't go to the light. That there's our wants, in some sense, biblically speaking, our wants get manifested in the decisions we make before we hit eternity. And so there's a desire. I don't want to be in hell, right? But I also don't exactly want all that God has either. That's something important to recognize. Number 8, trust God's judgment. If you're not resolved on this
Lord,
that's okay.
Why don't you just start with that? We could have skipped the rest.
God's judgment. This is a position you can take where you say, I hear all these things, Mike. But I still feel uncertain. I feel a little emotionally bothered and disturbed by the idea of hell, even with all this other stuff you've said. But it doesn't mean I'm rejecting Christ. It's just I just feel uncomfortable with it. What I can say is this: right now, you can't appreciate hell. You certainly don't appreciate it. You don't think it's laudable, but you can trust God's judgment. There is a time coming when you will appreciate it in the future. That is, you will have a new perspective from heaven, from eternity, where you see how bad sin is, how holy God is, how appropriate justice and judgment is, and you understand how these things play out, and you'll actually appreciate it. An example of this is
we can actually pause the tape, end the tape. We heard his last argument. Yeah, so we heard his last argument.
That right there, that just sealed in the fucking flame.
It did. Right there. It did.
Right?
It did so much to me.
That is literally, how dare you? You nasty bitch. Don't you know how good this dick is, bitch? I could have given this dick to anybody. But you know what? I decided to give it to you, you raggedy whore. Now I have to whip your ass because you do not appreciate how good this dick is. Right? When I found you,
fucking awful.
You were sitting on some bullshit. Right? I'm feeding you food, you raggedy bitch, that you can't pronounce. You didn't even know that car was a real thing. Why aren't you worshiping me? Why are you not? That's all we just heard. All 8 things that Mike just laid out was quite literally, how dare you not lick my booty hole? Yeah. Why did you make me hurt you? What were you wearing? I mean, holy shit. That was all abusive language.
So,
period in the story.
So I talked about this regression earlier today on Hot Program. Check that out after this episode if you're looking for some more content today. And of course, you got Uncle Bobby drops today. So you got a lot of great content this weekend. But
thank you.
The one thing I was saying is basically the idea that Christians regress, that like we start from, okay, I think you're like a decent person or you seem like a nice person. But if we get into it, because I was sharing a story about somebody was trying to set me up with a Christian. So I tried to kind of bow out gracefully by being like, "Hey, I'm not a Christian. I actually hate Christianity. I'm sure I'm not your type. Thanks, but no thanks." And so they actually asked me like why I'm an atheist and why I don't like Christianity. And
Oh,
so
that would be
I
fun.
laid it out and I actually told them. And you know, it was I to be honest, I included your lessons about battered spouse. I talked about you know, how there's no evidence for it, there are no good arguments. And then when I got to Christianity in specific, I talked about the whole battered spouse thing and the four symptoms. And then, you know, they came back with like, well, you know, I that's what I believe, and I'm a Christian, and I believe in Jesus Christ or whatever. So I was like, all right, well, then you should like really read the Bible because, you know, I'm sure it won't take you long to find out it endorses all this really terrible stuff. There's all this slavery and genocide and rapey stuff and like the whole fucking thing. And at the end of it, they were like, "Oh, I've actually read every word of the Bible multiple times. And yes, there's a lot of challenging stuff in there, but it just strengthens my faith. It just makes me believe in God more." And so this is what I mean when it's like regression. It's like you start off as, sorry, I think you're like a decent person who just probably has some weird beliefs because you're in this cult. And then it turns out when I actually expose you, and we get into a real conversation about all the ugliness, it turns out you're just going to double down on your faith based on the ugliness. And what
Yeah.
I just heard from Mike Winger, the reason I mentioned that is because what I just heard from Mike Winger was exactly that logic. At the end of the day, because really what this is supposed to do is soup up a believer to think that they're now armed to have this conversation about hell. So that if they
Oh
have
yeah.
a real conversation about hell, they go, "Oh my goodness, well, I've got all these interesting facts about hell that I bet you didn't even know," right? And then they give this fucking list. And when the person
Yeah.
sits there and is able to just, you know, fly
Mm.
swat them all away and go, "Listen, this is just some
Highlight that.
fundamentally
Highlight that. Stockholm
um,
syndrome. Highlight that, please.
oh yeah, hell yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
Thank you,
When
Liz.
they're able to highlight that this is just utter bullshit and it's totally immoral, that's where Mike gets to say, trust God's judgment. Because now the Christian gets to say, oh yeah, I heard all the immoral shit you just said, but I get to double down on my faith because at the end of the day, I just trust God's judgment. And that's the fucking regression, that you can
It is.
literally expose this shit to them,
Yep.
to their fucking faces, and they will just go, God, I trust God. I trust God no matter what.
Abuse 101. At the end of the day, this is abuse. Right. And I cannot
Absolutely.
tell y'all
Absolutely.
the number of times, and I want to keep saying, I am not the hero in this scenario. They are. But the number of times I've heard women say, yeah, man, I know my one I is dotted, but if he's right, the mashed potatoes were too lumpy, Robert. You're literally,
Right.
and I apologize
Right.
if anyone in here can relate to what it is I'm saying. I'm not trying to trigger a response, but this is what I'm talking about. If I just would have sucked his dick the right way, if I just would have poured his drink the right way, if I would have cleaned the house the way he wanted, instead of saying he shouldn't have hit me,
Right.
my holes are my own. Despite the fact that we're married, if I don't want it in that hole, I should be able to say no.
Right.
You know what? I was having a bad day and I've earned the right to say, you know what? I just need 30 minutes to myself. Instead, I get those people who at the end of the day are like, it was my fault, Robert. You're right. I've had a bad day, but his day was worse. And I lipped off and said, hey, maybe I should have a. All Mike did was sit there and make excuses. Liz, there you go. Stockholm. All Mike did was sit there and make excuses for an abusive spouse. What were you wearing? Why did you flirt with him? Why didn't you cook his steak the way he wanted it? Did you ever stop to think for 2 seconds he had a bad day? You deserve the bad treatment you're getting. I mean, only in Christianity, I'm going to say it for the 1 millionth time, only in Christianity can you get away with saying some bullshit like that and still collect a paycheck at the end of the day. In any other context, you would be Googling and Yelp reviewing your nearest self-defense teacher. He just made excuses for Scott Peterson, for O.J. Simpson, for Donald Trump. That was all sitting on some bullshit.
And then again, he turned around and in his short was literally like, "Come on, President Trump, go in there, guns blazing, and kill all them black people." And so Bay said, "I'm trying to break out of the mentality. It's so fucking hard. What could I have done to deserve that? How can I change it so I don't get hurt again?" I will say this. I think a lot of this stuff is very profound, and I really hope people take it seriously. I think the huge part of the problem of why we're not meeting this moment is we're not taking this threat of religion seriously. And that's because we don't take all these problems seriously. We don't take the notion of it being an abusive relationship seriously. We don't take the narcissism seriously. One of the reasons I really like Faith's channel is because that's something I've tried to talk about here. I think of religion as an addiction, and I think that's a very powerful framework to think of it through. So then now let's put that together. People are in a faith where they're worshiping a narcissistic deity. They're stuck in an abusive relationship with that narcissistic deity, and they are also addicted to that situation. That's serious shit right there. And so it is incredibly tough to break out of. And part of the consequences of that for me is it means most of us are stuck in an abusive relationship with believers ourselves. We're certainly stuck in an abusive and coercive social relationship with them, where literally we can't have nice things and we can't create the type of world we want to live in because they won't just like vote for the things that would help us get there, which is literally like the main barrier to entry to most of these things. But at the same time, in our own interpersonal lives, we are mostly our relationships. Like it's very difficult. Most of us don't know other atheists or have real secular community IRL. So then most of our social life is still with these believers who they love like Yahweh. And so we are still afraid of our own shadow. Most of us don't even want them to know that we're non-believers, and we're afraid of what will happen to us if they do know. And then even if they do know, we're constantly trying to not say what we really think and feel so that they can find us, socially acceptable.
My dad used to say all the time, one, you do what's right because it's the right thing to do. Two, would you put that comment back on the screen, please? I definitely want to address that.
Yeah. Sure. Go for it.
Yep. And the right thing to do is very rarely the easiest thing to do or the most popular thing to do. I didn't even know where I was going with that. I'm so emotionally fucked up right now after hearing what it is I just heard. But I'm trying to break out of that mentality. It's so fucking hard. What could I have done to deserve that? Nothing. Nothing. For anyone who's got that going on in their mindset, and just so you know, you're not alone. I sat in that room for 39 years. I've made my mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm just a motherfucker who's on the other side and still working to get over that. What could I have done to deserve that? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. How can I change that so I don't get hurt again? I will say exactly what it is I say to the people in my self-defense classes. And it is a practice. It's no different than getting fit or anything else. It's about the consistency. It's a habit. You set your bar, be it romantically or religiously or add any other LY into this conversation. You set your bar. And it is a practice. And you're not going to get it the first time. I'm still working on it. We all still are. You set your bar. And if anyone comes 1 inch underneath that bar, you eject that motherfucker. And you stay with that until it becomes, look at Bubba's fat ass. Okay. Apparently, Bubba has the bar too. Right? It is a practice. It's like anything else. You set the bar, and if anyone comes 1 inch or 1 penny, 1 centimeter underneath that bar,
Bubba's fucking telling you.
Yeah, Bubba's telling you all about it. You do not accept that treatment. It's like anything else. It is a practice that needs to become a habit, be it relationship or be it religiously. Do not accept anything under. You set your worth and you keep it there. And anyone who does not meet that standard, you eject that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do, but it is a practice. It is definitely a practice and a habit. Right, Bubba?
Yeah, and some of y'all have heard me say this, but some of y'all haven't. I do think Christianity's a hate group.
Totally.
And I think it's a hate group against people like us. Sometimes I talk about what I call the basic Bible math, which is we all know that these religious ideas are the basis of the persecution of the LGBTQ community. But at best, you can twist and contort a handful of passages to say maybe it's related to that. Yet, nevertheless, out of those handful of passages, we have gotten thousands of years of persecution of LGBTQ people that continues to this day. How many passages in that book are about the enemies of gods, the heathens, the non-believers, those that reject God, right? Even Mike's whole list, you know, it was all very clear where the non-believers and those that have chosen to reject Jesus are going. You know, even his little argument about how there's different punishments for different people. Think about the subtext there. The subtext was, remember, it's worse for the servant who knew the master. For the servant who didn't know master but messed up, it was just a few lashes. For the servant who knew master, it was worse. So that's saying for you Christians, for you believers who have known Christ, it's worse than the people who never heard of God and just end up punished because they never heard of Jesus or whatever. But what then do you think the punishment is worse for the people who knew God and then rejected his ass anyway?
Talk to me.
Right? So it's like, you know, so to tie this to based comment, part of it for me is just recognizing that I'm probably not going to be in healthy relationships with people like this. And so like when I found out my ex was a narcissist, again, shout out to my psychiatrist. I found out my psychiatrist, person who told me, and I think they saved my life because I was suffering and very, very hurting in a relationship, and I was confused and didn't know what was going on. But when I learned what I was dealing with and learned, and here was the important part, it's not just, oh, I was dating somebody who's a meanie. I was dating somebody who has a disordered personality. And I realized that means I couldn't fix it, and I can't force them to not be that way. So what I did was I had to leave the relationship. And I've tried to have these conversations about religion and my religious trauma and, you know, my boundaries with religious family. And they just don't get it, and they just can't stop. And so, you know,
highlight what Paula B said.
I will. Yeah. We know that's Pauly B on the ones and twos.
Right there. That plays into exactly what you're talking about. It's easy to wind up lowering the bar.
It's easy to wind up lowering the bar the longer the relationship lasts. Yeah, exactly. So I had to get out of the relationship. And it's the same thing. My family used to show a certain kind of respect, like, okay, we're not going to do prayer or like grace because they know I'm an atheist. And I appreciated that. But eventually they stopped, and especially around the holidays. And so I said, look, I'm not going to come because I don't do that. Now they could have reached out and said, hey, we're going to try to be respectful. Sorry, we slipped. We want you to be here. We will do what we need to do. Instead, they didn't reach out to me, and I didn't reach out to them, and I don't spend the holidays with my family. But I will say this. I've never been happier on the holiday. This Thanksgiving was the best Thanksgiving I can remember in ages, because I just didn't subject myself to that, and I didn't tempt myself, and I didn't spend my day whining or bemoaning
You do what
it.
you
I was
gotta
like,
do.
I got the motherfucking day off. I'm gonna motherfucking C to the H to the I to the L to the motherfucking L. Then I decided, fuck it, might as well knock out a motherfucking stream. We knocked out a motherfucking fun stream, and my ass went and played some goddamn Pinochle. And that is how you motherfucking spend Thanksgiving. So a lot of us, it's like we're still dealing with how to navigate and negotiate those relationships. And if that's you, cool. I 100% respect anybody doing that, however they do it. But I will say that a lot of times what I say on this channel has been misrepresented in various places in this community as some sort of like open hostility towards parents or family and thinking every atheist should hate their family. That's not it at all. I think we should grow and understand our boundaries. And when people are not meeting the bar, we don't owe those people access to us. I love my family.
Say that again.
I
Say
wish
that
I could be
again.
closer to them. But
Say
if
that
people
again.
don't meet that bar, we do not owe them access to us.
Exactly. Exactly. And before I close this out, I want to say you wrap that all the way the fuck up.
Appreciate
Gang,
it.
you be it religiously or personal, you don't owe anyone shit. You don't. And even if they're blood related to you, it may be difficult, but you do not owe them shit. The worst case of self-defense I ever worked with was with a blood relative. Someone who was one half of the reason why this lady was alive. You can figure out which one that was. And two things this person did. One was that, which completely fucked her way of thinking about sex. And the other thing that this person held over this person was, I'm related to you. This is what love is supposed to feel like. And it's one of the few times, if maybe the first time, that I ever kind of quote unquote broke character. And I was like, and I'm sitting here with tears running down. I was like, never say that ever again. It wasn't your fault. You did not owe this person anything. Right. Your body, your meat, your call.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, gang, I put that in the same category as a relationship with the deity. You don't owe this motherfucker anything. Your family. Bundy, man, I am sorry that that's your experience. But again, you don't owe anyone anything. And I said this in a video earlier today. Live your own life, for you will certainly die your own death. They do not make coffins for two. And so while you are sitting there trying to make everyone else happy, when you hit 70, 80, whatever time you have on this planet, when they're pumping your monkey ass full of formaldehyde, it's lights out, Jack. You made everyone else happy, but you. So again, you don't owe anyone anything. You owe yourself happiness. You owe yourself peace. Do not sacrifice that for anybody. Nobody.
And I'll wrap with this. I'll say when I talk about the mission is to end religion's domination over our lives, that's a very specific mission. Yes, it speaks to the social and political moment. It speaks to us fighting back against Christian nationalism and Christofascism and all of that stuff. But I specifically chose that language because it embedded within that is the other message, is to end religion's domination over our lives, meaning over your personal, individual life. And so it's so important to me because you may look at the one, I don't know if I can end religion's domination over society. None of us do. We're going to try. But we don't know if we can do that. But we know it's a worthwhile mission. But ending religion's domination over your life can definitely happen, and only you can do it. And on top of that, doing that is how we do the other. The more of us that end religion's domination over our individual lives, the more it contributes to changing our social and political lives. So,
my man,
we love it.
Before you end it, you see Lilith in the "We Make the Excuses." Please highlight that one.
Yeah, here we go. We make the excuses we need to survive, use them to escape. Ooh, wow.
That right there. I cannot think of a better way to end that. That right there. Say no more. We make the excuses we need to survive. Use them to fucking escape. I'm literally going to use that in my next self-defense class. I bullshit you not. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, we make the excuses we need to survive, use them to escape. This was awesome. I'm so glad we did this. Thank you so much for tuning in, gang. The links are in the description.
Everybody.
Make sure you're subscribed to Uncle Bobby's channel, Little Chrissy. Make sure you share the links so we can get that subscriber count. I'm Pocket Locker 86. My link is down there too. And yeah, it was great to bring the Blackout back. And whenever Uncle Bobby's up for it, we'll do this again.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you guys right now, I have to go take care of business with my dad next week. Cousin Jay, I will be back on Sunday. If you want to do this again next week, I'm here for it. I got Friday and Saturday with my dad, but I will be back Sunday afternoonish. So if you want to do this again, I'm here.
Oh, anytime. We love it. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. So happy to do it.
Be back.
Gang, there's lots of content this week, and go watch Uncle Bobby's videos. Join our Discord. Come hang out, and
you guys go check